Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unscripted Access, episode number 89. You are here with your host, Nick McCandless. On this week's show, I also have Anthony Ta
Hello.
and Bronson Fiore.
Hey, everybody.
Wow, this is going to be an incredible podcast, guys. It's a month away from E3, I've got to say, I am probably more excited for this E3 than I was last E3. And last E3, the new consoles weren't even out yet. But it's it's so exciting.
I was
put it this way.
Worried going into last year's E3. I was like, video games are doomed.
See, that's the thing. Last E3, it kind of dampened your enthusiasm because Nintendo wasn't going to be there. Sony's PS4 had too many question marks, and the Xbox One had just come off the worst reveal we've ever seen. Like, that's kind of hard to get excited about E3 when you've got that many problems flying around over your head. But this year, the PS4 is doing well, the Xbox One is still doing relatively well, and Nintendo's still not there. So, but still, yeah! The current generation is now going to be in full swing soon.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and start it off with, and usually with rumors, we usually don't discuss rumors, at least not on Unscripted Access, unless there's some pretty decent, it doesn't have to be confirmed, otherwise it won't be a rumor, but has some promise behind it and seems reasonable. So, DualShockers.com, they posted what is apparently the entire leaked Sony press conference for 2014, which has me excited and bummed out. Bummed out because if this is true, there's not really going to be any surprises, but excited because you guys will find out as we go over it. It's freaking awesome. So let's go ahead and start it right now.
We should point out, and I probably need to put a timestamp down here to skip to the next topic on the timestamp on the description, because if you do not want to be spoiled, and this actually does happen, don't listen to this section.
E3 is like 4 weeks away. They won't remember it.
How can we spoil the rumors?
Well, if it's a rumor and everything turns out true, all of a sudden the excitement of the announcement gets taken away.
Yeah, that's not our fault. Listen, guys, listen. But all right. So the first thing, Uncharted PlayStation 4 3-minute trailer showcasing in-engine footage interspersed with gameplay elements. Visuals are supposedly unprecedented and set a benchmark for console graphics. Summer 2015 release date. It looks absolutely stellar. It features tropical setting and differing time periods with Nate and Francis. I think it's pretty reasonable. I definitely think we'll see Uncharted at E3. I mean,
man, what you just read right there sounded like something straight out of the PR department.
Yeah, that's why it's believable.
Yeah, I definitely think we're going to see Uncharted. I mean, summer 2015, that sounds perfect too. I mean, that's when they released The Last of Us. Personally, I think summer is a great time to launch a game just because usually there aren't too many games launching in the summer, and that's when kids are out of school. And a majority of the gaming audience is kids. So I think now really showing it off at E3, because if it really does launch summer of 2015, this is going to be the last E3 before it launches, showcasing it, getting people excited about it, then showing more information as the year progresses, and then launch it and then possibly have it at maybe PAX Prime, PAX East 2015, and then launch it summer 2015. I think it's great. I think it's very plausible. You guys' thoughts?
Yeah, that one's likely. I think. Uncharted's kind of their big fish, so I see no reason why it can get out in that amount of time. I mean, it'll be 4 years since the last one, so yeah.
I think summer 2015 sounds about right, because a lot of games these days, or development studios, they release games every 2 years. So 2015 sounds about right. It's either that or holiday 2015. Might get delayed to holiday 2015. Yeah.
I know, I'm excited. Oh, I cannot wait.
It's gonna be interesting because I like Uncharted. I really like Uncharted 2. I think about 2 or 3 months ago I played that car chase up the mountain scene and the train scene. That was it doesn't look as good as The Last of Us, but it was still pretty awesome. So yeah, and Uncharted 3 for me was more annoying. Still very good, but more annoying.
Yeah. So moving along, next thing. Media Molecule's new title will be a landmark title for Morpheus, which if you guys don't remember is the virtual reality headset for Sony. 3D world building, beautiful, quirky visuals, extremely creative and fun, possibly related to the Entwined trademark filed last week by Sony Computer Entertainment, late 2015. Once again, I think this is very plausible. We're definitely going to see something about Project Morpheus there, and what better team than Media Molecule? This is the team behind Little Big Planet. They seem like they'd be the perfect studio to work on something like this. Because imagine something, I mean, I could see something pretty cool. Like I said, am I sold on Project Morpheus? Absolutely not. Hopefully at E3 I will have a chance to check it out. But I can definitely see Media Molecule being that team, one of those teams to really get into Project Morpheus and see what they can do with it.
So are they going to open up their presentation with like, you take the red pill, da 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 da. You take the blue pill, da 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 da.
You know what's the coolest thing ever? When Sony did their sales figures in Little Big Planet.
That was cool as fuck.
That was freaking awesome.
I remember that. That was really weird and cool. So. Anyway,
Bronson, when you were making that Morpheus joke, I was like thinking to myself, like, so is everyone gonna put on a Project Morpheus headset in that convention center and just be completely blown away and get sick at the same time?
I don't know. I'm curious how many. Okay, so we all know the Morpheus meme on the internet, right? Like everyone's aware of that. What if I told you?
Yeah.
How many jokes on the Sony press conference are going to involve Morpheus now because of this?
I think it would be a lot. Like, if they blow their minds away, there's going to be a Morpheus joke about how good the conference is, or stuff like that.
I mean, if we go, the number one thing I'm going to be, like, the thing I'm excited most about is obviously going. The thing I'm disappointed about is I won't be able to, like, scroll on Tumblr the entire time as all these hilarious memes hit the internet. So, oh my god.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, so
we also don't get like a live chat feed of everyone blowing up.
Yeah, that's
on the game trailer's side chat panel.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, with Project Morpheus, I don't think it's gonna be necessarily an affordable accessory. If I had to take a guess, it's probably gonna be like a good $200. I don't see it being any cheaper than that. So maybe we'll hear Morpheus pricing at E3, maybe an official release date.
Hey guys. This is totally off topic, but I got a pretty good joke for you. Good science joke. An infectious disease walks into a bar, and the bartender says, "We don't serve your kind in here." The disease replies, "Well, you're not a very good host."
That whole joke is really old. But anyways, good try, Bronson.
Damn
it. But moving along to the next thing. This is something that I'm excited to hear what Anthony has to say. Gran Turismo 6 is coming to PlayStation 4 as 1080p 60 frames per second repackaged title in the vein of Gran Turismo 7 Prologue. Stunning visuals, extra features, social connectivity, news tracks, DLC, etc. coming mid to late 2015. I personally think it's very reasonable. I think we're going to see exactly what happened with the PlayStation 3, where Polyphony Digital is they've probably been working on this while they were working on Gran Turismo 6, but they don't have 1,000 cars in the game, so they're going to release Gran Turismo 7 Prologue. I think it's, once again, really very realistic.
Gran Turismo 7 Prologue? Yeah, I can see that happening. I would be very excited for actually, to be honest, I would be suckered into buying a PlayStation 4 just to purchase a demo.
Please make this make this happen, Sony. Please.
Here's the thing. It's like, what gets me to buy game consoles? Well, it has been proven that Gran Turismo and Pokemon gets me to buy game consoles, and Fire Emblem, sort of. Like, Pokemon gets me to buy systems, and Gran Turismo got me to buy a PlayStation 3. So, Gran Turismo 7 Prologue, yeah, I would be stupid enough to go out and spend $400 on a PlayStation 4 just so I can play a demo.
And then you can play Destiny with me. Which, yeah.
As for, and you know what, I can't wait, because let's be honest here, Forza does a pretty good job with its cars, and we were pretty wow. They did a good job with the cars in Forza 4, but you could tell the cars in in Gran Turismo 6 looked better, a lot better, almost lifelike. And then you had Forza 5, which we all said, "Whoa, this is so close to real." And now you've got Polyphony Digital, which, as far as their car modeling perfection goes, with their premium stuff, wow. It's going to be pretty interesting.
Well, have you guys been following up with seeing what they're doing with Project Cars?
I looked at some pictures. It was like
it puts Forza 5 to shame. It really does. Yeah.
It's probably going to take like a ridiculous amount of power to run.
No, there's been screens showing it of actual footage of it running on the PlayStation 4. There's gameplay footage of it running on the PlayStation 4.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It looks absolutely unbelievable. Because, yeah, Forza looks good, but the cars just look unrealistic from the standpoint of they're too shiny, their lighting isn't that great.
Yeah, that's like the one thing.
Project Cars, they have it nailed. You see the water effects, you see these individual rain droplets, you see the puddles on the street, you see the sun rays beaming through, you see the clouds moving. It just brings the racing game to life.
Yeah, Project Cars, I remember looking at it once, and it was like, yeah, looks very good. It's made by the same studio that did Need for Speed Shift 1 and 2, and Shift 1 and 2 were decent, but it was pretty good. It was good enough, I guess. As far as re-releasing Gran Turismo 6, why? Why are they doing that? Because to me, it's not like the case of The Last of Us, where re-releasing it, it's like, oh, you get to see it run at 60 frames and get to still experience the really awesome AI system and everything. But with Gran Turismo 6 to me is still a good racing game, but it felt like it had less overall content than Gran Turismo 5. Why would I want to pay $60 for a game that feels like it has a bit less than the old game? Granted, they trimmed a lot of fat out. They trimmed out a lot of the useless junk, but then they introduced more useless junk with updates. Like, for example, Gran Turismo 6 has this GPS visualizer where if you have a GPS device that records as your car races around a track, you can plug it into GT6 and watch a replay of your car driving around the track exactly like it did in real life, which I don't know if... I don't even know if 0.001% of Gran Turismo 6 players even use this feature. Like, stuff like that is like, what the hell? So I don't know why they're re-releasing 6. I mean, 6 is good. And you know what? For me, it seems right that it's on the PlayStation 3. And on PlayStation 4, can it hold a candle to Forza 5? No. It can't. I don't think so. And I don't think it really helps. I think they should just focus on 7 Prologue or 7 in general. So not really thinking I don't think it's a good idea to. And I don't think many people will buy it because it's like, Gran Turismo fans have already bought 6 for their PS3s. Why get it for the PS4? It's just an upres.
Oh, I think that Prologue would sell a ton on the PlayStation 4, especially in
the
Japan,
Prologue.
Europe,
I agree, but 6. Yeah. I mean, Gran Turismo 6 already runs 1080p on the PlayStation 3, so
yeah. But the PlayStation 4, it's going to be able to produce a lot better visuals.
And Gran Turismo 6 was also heavily optimized for cell, I imagine. So
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't see much sense in it. 7 Prologue is what I'm looking for, and I'm looking forward to it, and it might sucker me into a PlayStation 4 finally. GT6 release? No.
Alright, well, what's next on this Sony lineup?
God of War 4 teaser will be CG with snippets of in-engine... Bronson. Anyways, God of War 4 teaser will be CG with snippets of in-engine footage. A little early for reveal, but is designed to offset negativity surrounding canceled new IP and generate excitement. Also to partially offset CG announcement of Gears of War at Microsoft presser. Late 2015, date won't be announced.
Okay, so I want to
offset cancellation of new IP. What?
I want to talk about God of War for a second. Alright, so those first 3 games were all really awesome for their time, and 2 and 3 still hold up really well, regardless of problems with story and writing. And then the Ascension was kind of Like it was a good game, but it was one of those games that's like a 7 to a low 8. And like I felt that we didn't need another one. Like, and if you are gonna do another one, you have to do a totally different setting. And there are different settings they could do. Like Norse mythology would be kind of kick ass. Japanese mythology would be really kick ass, as we've seen a lot of it in Okami, and we find it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, like he killed all the Greek gods and blew and fucked up the planet. Nowhere else to go besides prequels, and we've covered most of his backstory. And quite frankly, 2 out of those 3 prequels, I kind of didn't give a shit. So there you go.
My thought on God of War. God of War 1, it's okay. And the reason why I thought it was okay was that it was a little old-fashioned, I guess, in the sense that it wasn't exactly the best game design I've seen. That's what I'm used to, and it was hard. And that giant, colossal Pandora's box thing, I just
Fuck
gave
that
up.
place.
I gave up. I gave up. I gave up and then go. God of War 2, I like God of War 2. I like it. I finish it. Just, I guess that God of War 2 was where it's like, I'm not really a God of War person. But it's good. I respect it. God of War 3 was this giant epic fest of Kratos just blowing up the entire Greek world. So, you know,
PS3, like God of War 3 was just like sense of scale, make it bigger, as big as fucking possible. Yeah, like
I thought God of War 3 was amazing.
And you're blowing up a Greek world while doing it.
God of War 2, I think, is the best overall game. I think 3 is really cool. I think 1 has the best story. I mean, God of War 3 barely has a story. And God of War 2, its story totally, kind of fucks up any moral or any lesson learned from the first game. It's like, wow, guys, Kratos goes through all that and, possibly learns a lesson and how to live and shit. And then becomes the God of War. And you're going to fuck that all up with the sequel. Way to be. Oh, God.
Yeah, so God of War 3 was like an epic fest of just blowing up the Greek world. And God of War Ascension, I looked at it. I watched Bronson play when we did 60-minute access a while back, and my thought of it was it's like God of War 1.5, and in a bad way. It tries to be as epic as 3 while having all the but kind of being mediocre at it, while having all the problems that we don't like in God of War 1. So it just kind of felt like they tried, but they just didn't catch the magic. So God of War 4, don't care, really. I think after 3, I was like, yep, I'm done. God of War series it's good. So, yeah.
Well, I don't know why you guys are hating, but
I'm not hating. I like 3. 2, I just didn't click with, and 1...
I loved God of War 1 through 3. I thought the PlayStation portable games were really great, and then Ascension wasn't. I mean, yeah, it was definitely the weakest of the franchise, but even then, I didn't think it was terrible. I'd like to see God of War 4 come back, and who knows? I mean, who knows? For all we know, Kratos might not even be the main character. I mean, it'd be hard to see them do that, but I don't know. I think that I really want to see them take another shot at it. Stig Asmussen's no longer. Well, no, it wasn't even Stig. It was forgot his name. Todd Poppy was the producer of God of War Ascension, so I would hope. Obviously, they want to have him do this God of War, but who knows?
Once again, I'm a big fan of those games. I have the original game signed by David Jaffe. I was really excited for Ascension. Was let down by it. I liked the PSP games a lot. I liked the second PSP game a lot more than the first. But I reckon, if you love something, you will also criticize it. Because you can make it better. And there are certain ways they can make God of War better.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely, and maybe God of War 4 is that top chance they can do it.
yeah, like I think they shouldn't have called it like God of War 4 though. And if it is Greek mythology again, I'm just gonna be so tired. I'm so tired of like that. Like they could do Christian gods. They could do well, not in this country, but well they could. But they could do Christian gods. They could do Hindu gods. They could do like Norse mythology is badass, and like I would love for them to do Norse mythology. You know, yeah.
Yeah, no, we'll have to wait and see. I would personally be excited, though. I really would be excited. Plus, I mean, I know it's not all about graphics, but wow, God of War, the PlayStation 4, that looks so awesome. I can only imagine. But moving along, Kill Strain trademark is related to Siphon Filter reboot for PlayStation 4. Sony Bend working on revamping the franchise. Stealth, beautiful visuals, and a possible winter 2014 title. Bend finally getting to join the big boys. I think this is, I mean, we've been constantly hearing about Siphon Filter coming back to life. We didn't see it on the PlayStation 3. We could see it on the PlayStation 4. Sony Bend, I could see Sony giving it to them to give them a chance on it.
Yeah, like
I've never been a fan of Siphon Filter, but
for a PS1 shooter, it was pretty good at the time. Like I'm not gonna lie, I thought I wasn't a fan of their PSP game, the first one. Didn't they also work on the PSP SOCOMs? Because I liked those, which says all kinds of things about my judgment in portable games. So I don't know. It couldn't hurt. Couldn't hurt. I think like worst case scenario, they make a shitty game and they're back to making Vita games. You know.
Thoughts, Anthony?
Yeah.
The order. No, I don't recognize the name, so there's not much for me to comment, unfortunately.
You never played Siphon Filter?
No, I haven't even heard of it.
You gotta remember, Anthony didn't own any PlayStation console until the third.
Yeah, I hadn't owned any PlayStation until 2010.
Yeah,
so I've been out of the loop of PlayStation.
So he's a little behind on that lineage. Yeah.
All right, cool. So we'll have to wait for that. We'll have to wait for all of these. But moving along to the next one. Wipeout is also making the transition to PlayStation 4. Source is unsure of who is developing it, but hints that it could be Sony London, Evolution, or Firesprite.
Cool. I liked Wipeout HD and Wipeout 2048. Sorry, 2084 is the name of
2048. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but no, I was gonna say 2084 is the name of a ridiculous song by Midnight Brown that you should go listen to. But 2048 was a really good game that its only real flaw was even after they patched it, the load times were fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, Wipeout's a fun game. That's something I can't really see them launching and it being successful as a $60 title. I can see it being like a $20, $30 PlayStation
Wipeout
Plus
HD
title.
on the PS3 was fucking awesome. And that game, when you
put that, it wasn't a full $60 release.
No, yeah, with the DLC, it would total out to $35, so that was fair. Granted, that game, if you put that game at max speed,
that game Wipeout is so hard.
If you put that game on max speed and put it on a big TV like mine, I get sick. I'm like, whoa.
I don't get sick, but that game is you want to talk about a difficult game. Anyone who platinumed Wipeout HD, I applaud.
Speaking of games like that, I always preferred F-Zero to Wipeout, and I'm not sure why. I think it might be just because the races are bigger. And I like the metal music over the techno music, but that might just be me. So,
any thoughts, Anthony?
I forgot. The only reason why I ever had played Wipeout was back when PSN went down for a while, and they were giving out 2 free games. The 2 I picked were Infamous 1 and Wipeout, and I played Wipeout, and I thought, hey, this is pretty cool. Problem is that I could never figure out how to actually play the game all the way, so I was just like, so how do you use the weapon items again? How do you use this thing again?
honestly,
what objective am I doing here? It's like it was always a little difficult for me to understand how I should do things.
hardcore TGA fans will know of my friend Quinn, who has been on several game casts and raid episodes. He is fucking obsessed with Wipeout. Like that dude loves Wipeout so hard. So he's gonna be happy about this. I don't know. I'm like I said, it's one of those games that like I bought it with my Vita because I needed launch titles with my Vita, and because they were doing this deal where if you buy 2 Sony titles, you get a third free. So, and then I bought it on the PS3 because I actually really wanted it. And it looked cool. Uh, I don't know. It's fine. It'll definitely be a visual benchmark. I can say that much.
Yeah, do you guys? Because I remember I got my PSP day one. I remember Wipeout. Not remember it might have just been called Wipeout.
Called Wipeout Pure.
Yeah, Wipeout Pure. This was before the PSP had a web browser, and
you had to use fucking you hacked it through Wipeout.
There was a way to hack it through Wipeout Pure so you could get access to the web browser. I'm not even gonna lie, like, yeah, I bought it because I thought it was cool. But that's why I bought that game.
Dude, I remember all kinds of dumb stuff with the PSP. Like, I remember the PSP, like, they put a, like, way that, they wanted to stop piracy on the PSP with the Slim, right? So what the fuck they attach it to? The motherboard. So all anyone who wanted to pirate shit on the PSP did is they opened that PSP Slim and fucking plopped out that chip. And then on an earlier model, I think they put it on the battery.
Which, like, what the hell?
What the retarded fuck?
Well, on the battery was the first time, yeah.
Yeah, oh my god, how dumb can you get?
I have no idea, but, I guess when you design the first Portal, I guess, like, not everything really clicks the right way. But still, like, wow.
Yeah. Sony,
speaking
they
of
had some interesting product learning experiences.
I have a feeling.
But after the PlayStation 2, between the PSP, the PlayStation 3, and then the Vita. If PlayStation 4, they got it all nailed down.
I just got an idea.
To be fair, they got a lot right with the Vita. The only major fuck up with the Vita was the memory cards. Like, had the Vita had, like, if they just said Vita uses regular flash cards, or our memory cards are going to be priced like regular fucking flash memory, no one would have complained. Everyone would have been just like, Vita's the greatest fucking thing ever. But no.
Well, they would complain about initial cost, but that's about it.
Yeah, but even then, like, you see that, like, there's a tangible, like, I play a lot of portable games, especially over the past month because I've been riding the bus a lot because my car, I've been in the process of fixing it. And it's finally done being repaired. I finally finished it. The Warthog rides again, bitches.
Seriously, Nick, if you saw the thing, like, you and I would.
Oh,
like,
I've seen a picture.
Like,
of it.
you and I, we would be like, no, we're good.
Hey, man, you know what? I mean,
if it gets you from point A to point B.
Yeah, it gets it, and the heat works again. I got the heat to work again.
It's what is described as reliable piece of shit.
Yeah,
it works. It's a terrible car, but it works. It's paid off. If someone accidentally chips the paint, who cares?
It has seat belts in the front.
Anyway, front. Keyword.
So but I want to say, like, the Vita. I play a lot of games on the Vita and the 3DS, and recently I've been drawn to my Vita a lot, and it's largely because Vita games have actually been coming out recently, where 3DS games have not. But the experience on the Vita is way better. Like, the experience as a whole, just like the way you zip in and out of menus, the way you can switch games faster, the way games look, a lot of the time the way they play, the fact that we get a lot of the indie games that are on Steam, and I love playing those games on Steam, but a lot of them work better on a portable platform. Thomas Was Alone is an amazing game on Steam and the PS3. It's an even better game on the Vita because you can get 2 or 3 levels done, and then, like, okay, I have to put it in my bag for my next stop. And I play a game like Final Fantasy X HD, and I'm like, this could not be done on a 3DS. I play a game like the same thing. And the reason that the 3DS is selling more and doing better is because one, it has the bigger names as far as games go. Pokemon X sold with almost 13 million copies so far, and counting. It hasn't even been a year. It's barely been 6 months. Okay, so 13 million copies in 6 months. Call of Duty, eat your heart out. Grand Theft Auto, eat your heart out. Fuck. So there's that. It's cheaper overall, and its library is, and as far as libraries go, in my opinion, it's arguable. It's just that the Vita's great games aren't as marketable. Like, when Nintendo could go on stage for the 3DS, like, Anthony, if you and I were arguing for the 3DS and Vita, you could go for the 3DS and say Zelda, Mario, Metroid, or Zelda, Mario, Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Mario Kart. For Vita, I have to go Persona 4, and then there's this really awesome indie game called da-da-da-da-da, where da-da-da-da-da happens, and, like, you can't sum it up in a few words. And then I also have to, explain, oh yeah, it comes with an 8 gig memory card, but realistically you need 16 gigs or more, and a 16 gig memory card is $60. Have fun. And why is the 64 gig card not out in fucking America yet? Like, I know I can import them, and it's not that much more expensive than a 32 gig card to import a 64 gig. That should be out here. Like, I will pay $100 for a 64 gig memory card for the Vita. Because that's how digital that thing is. Because of PlayStation Plus. That's another reason I've been playing my Vita a lot recently, is just because of PlayStation Plus. I get free games for it. I played Monster Hunter. I'm terrible at it. Surprise, surprise.
So pulling this back on track. There's just something that just came into my mind about Wipeout. So, if Sony ever had in their agenda to cause the highest amount of motion sickness one could ever achieve, besides space, Wipeout would be the way to put Wipeout on Project Morpheus and get everyone sick.
Anthony, I already get motion sick playing Wipeout. Like, Wipeout has different speed settings, and I can play it on everything but its final setting. Like, Wipeout's final setting is just, and I can even play it on the Vita on its final setting. But on a TV, I found that on the bigger TVs at max settings, Wipeout just makes me want to vomit everywhere.
Now, imagine your entire field of vision.
Hey guys, we got a new experiment that we're going to try out at CES this year.
Oh, man.
Oh, and before doing it, we're going to go to Taco Bell and get one of those waffle tacos.
Yeah, eat lots of those. Bring some sick bags with us, just in case.
I think
cue the illness.
So one thing that I've always wanted TGA to do, but we can never seem to get the staff together in one place. Besides that one trip to CES, we're hoping for E3 this year. Can't make promises, but E3, I want us to do an eating challenge of some kind. Just some type of eating challenge.
Okay, yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea.
All right, how does this sound? The half-gallon challenge. We each get a half a gallon of ice cream. Whoever finishes it first wins.
I would prefer a meat challenge.
Okay, all right.
More than an ice cream challenge.
What are we talking about?
Do steak or ribs, and I've got you all beat.
Oh, dude, you don't know me at a ribs challenge. Anthony has seen me at Claim Jumpers.
Bronson has seen me eat this thing that they call the Widowmaker. Okay.
Anthony has seen me eat an entire rack of ribs at Claim Jumpers and be like, I'm still hungry.
A rack of ribs is nothing.
No, there's a rack of ribs, then there's a Claim Jumper rack of ribs. You don't understand.
Claim Jumpers, when you order something at Claim Jumpers, they give you a lot of food.
Like, whatever the average restaurant size is, like, double it and then maybe a little more, and you'll probably have the Claim Jumper portion.
They must fucking have some freaking animals on steroids then.
Not just that, but you have to pay a lot because it is that much food. Bronson, you just reminded me of that beef bowl challenge thing that they had at that Chinese food shop in Persona 4.
Oh, have you done that far yet? Have you done that yet?
No, I haven't done that yet, but I know the place you meant. It was just like they have like this giant beef bowl, and you order it for like 800 yen, and you keep eating, but you never see the bottom. Man, that would be just evil.
All right,
man.
moving it back on board to the rumored
Hold
Sony
on.
conference.
One quick thing. People listening to this, what food challenge do you want us to do?
Ooh,
There
that's
we
a
go.
good idea. Let's ask them.
Yeah, honestly, it would have to be. Oh, here's one that I saw that was pretty good. Have you guys seen those like giant Rice Krispie sheets? Like they're just huge.
Yeah.
Try and finish one. There you go.
Oh, that would. Yeah.
You just,
Talk about a stomach ache.
dude, like marshmallow. Oh god, marshmallow. Just that is a stomach.
That'd probably clog you up so bad.
Dude, oh my god.
Could you imagine if we were all at E3 and we said let's eat all these Rice Krispies, let's do this competition the first day, and we're like clogged for the whole entire week? That just would not be good.
It reminds me of this terrible Penny Arcade comic I'll send you guys. It's where he decides like he can't use public restrooms, but he also like has to go to the bathroom at PAX. So he's just like by the end panel, his head looks like it's about to explode. Oh my god, it's hilarious.
That's funny. But yeah, moving it back on board, this one I'm personally excited for. Quantic Dream has a trailer prepared. Unsure of whether it's penciled in for Gamescom or E3, Sony will be watching Microsoft's presser earlier in the day to gauge whether additional titles will need to be slotted in to dampen hype. Expect Dark Sorcerer-like visuals in real time. Off topic but still relevant, they are close to deal to become a worldwide studios developer, along with Ready at Dawn.
Oh, well, Beyond probably sold pretty well, as stupid as it was. Heavy Rain was a great game, and so was Indigo Prophecy. So they're 2 for 3. You know, and even Beyond had its moments.
I didn't think Beyond was terrible.
It wasn't terrible. It had its moments, but dude, some things with that plot were just stupid as hell.
Oh, I agree.
And then that ending, oh my god, that was fucking horrible. Like that part where it's like it goes to the baby.
Yeah.
And then it tells you what, and then it's like, oh yeah, her future, da 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 da, and it totally sets up a sequel. Oh my fucking god! I was just like, David Cage, you pompous asshole. This ending was kind of going okay until you decide to do this. But will this next game have emotions? Like David Cage loves.
They always make fun of that.
No, what's that? God, what's Jason?
Jason.
Origami.
We can do a mashup of us just making fun of David Cage.
We can do that. There's a skit we can do at E3 with all the people walking around.
We'll just stand like as close as we can to like the development team.
Oh god!
And then just like randomly blurt that out.
Hey guys, we just got blacklisted from Sony. Weird. We'd have to do that at PAX, sadly.
Yeah, PAX is a better place for that.
Yeah.
But cool. We'll see what happens. That Dark Sorcerer trailer was just unbelievable. I don't think we're gonna get graphics like that. That was a little bit too insane. If they came out with a game that really looked like that, I don't know.
I mean, David Cage's games are already barely games, so I mean, fuck it, you know.
Yeah, but if you watch that trailer, it's too good. Maybe next generation, but there's no way.
David Cage is a really fucking good director, and like he's just a really shitty writer. And I want my ideal team up would be like the team at Telltale. Their writers with David Cage's and Sony's money and directing. You would have a fucking amazing game.
Yeah.
But like David Cage gets free reign to write whatever the fuck he wants. And supposedly Beyond had an editor. Who was the fucking editor of Beyond? Because he's fucking terrible at his job. You know? Like, did David Cage
Well,
just
let's be
like
honest
slip?
here. Let's be
I
honest
mean-
here. When David Cage is your boss, kind of hard to edit what your boss wrote.
That's true.
Did David Cage just like slip this guy a roofie and say, "No, man, telling the story out of order would be totally cool," and you want to be even like, and I know why they do it. Like, they found a way to justify it at the end of the fucking game. But even then, it's still really annoying until you get to that point. You know, just, oh, God. Anthony, you need to borrow Beyond. I want to hear your commentary on that game. I remember I bought that game, too, because that's when I was working at AT&T, and I was just, like, able to buy games, because I was making a shit ton of money. You know, so, like, I just went out and I was like, I feel like buying Beyond today, and I bought it, and, like, I started it, it opened up, that game opens really strong, and then it just kind of falls apart, and the more you play it.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But I will say this. If they come out with a game that looks like the Dark Sorcerer trailer, like, I understand that it takes time to learn these consoles, but that just really makes every other game out there look like they just half-assed it. Because this is the thing, like, yeah, like The Last of Us on PS3 looks light years beyond anything near launch, no doubt.
Well, I mean, like,
But
even stuff in the middle of the console generation, like, go look at Halo Reach and, like, Uncharted 2. Like, that smokes Perfect Dark and Resistance 1.
well, yeah, but this is the thing, like, that was the whole cell process, or like a lot harder to develop for. Whereas this, it's more like a customized gaming PC. So if we see a game look like this, it's just gonna really be like, why are all these other games look like shit compared to this?
Well, like, well, part of it's like how his games are made. Like David Cage's games all look really good.
Well, obviously, yeah,
but
because they're
it's
heavily scripted. And
yeah, there's like no AI. There's no like, they don't have to worry about a bunch of shit. Like, it's, you know, it's just like, it's like, we need to worry about what's going on in this one scripted scene, or the two possible choices in this scripted scene. You know, so like, you know, that's why, like, Grand Theft Auto 5 was really impressive to me graphically, right? Like, I
agree.
Because it's just like, anything can fucking happen. You have to worry about the AI on all those fucking pedestrians, plus your enemies, plus, like, anything can fucking happen at any moment. Like, that's why that game is so fucking impressive. You know, like,
that game's extremely impressive.
You know, like,
why it took them so much money and time to make it.
Like, I look at Infamous Second Son. Like, Anthony, you saw Infamous Second Son. Like, when we were on top of the Space Needle, and, like, just, you could see forever. Like, no fog. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Infamous Second Son's pretty impressive. But, okay, we'll move along here. Speaking of Ready at Dawn, the Order 1886 will get a stage demo. Big title for fall 2014. Sony is expecting great things from said title. Franchise hopes rest on its performance. I mean, that's common sense. Of course we're going to see the Order 1886. It's supposed to launch this holiday season. I had a chance to check it out in February at the private Sony event. And looks great. I mean, it truly does. It looks great. It's different what they're doing, where they have the bars at the top because it's 21:9 aspect ratio rather than 16:9 to give it more of a cinematic feel. And from what I saw, it really is legit. The CG and the gameplay does match spot on. There's no flicker, there's no transition. It seamlessly moves from CG to gameplay, which is really cool. Graphically, it's unbelievable. As far as gameplay, I'm a little bit worried. I don't know what to see. It's kind of like Gears of War. It's like Gears of War in the Victorian era. But we'll see what happens. I mean, they still have a lot to show at that game, but I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I also kind of have a concern about the gameplay, because when I look at the gameplay footage of it, freaking...
Wait, what are we talking about? I lost
the Order
track.
1886?
Oh, yeah, that game looks fucking gorgeous. But
Yeah, it looks great. The gameplay though, just kind of like it definitely reminds me of Gears of War with that third-person cover system and the third-person shooting, and heck, even the camera when you vault over cover and when you roadie run, I guess in a way, it was like, whoa.
It's like Sony's like, we want to make a game like Gears of War, but make it look like we don't want to make a Gears of War clone. So here's what we're gonna do: we're gonna make the guys normal sized. We're gonna take it back in an era. We're gonna throw all this stuff in there to confuse people, and then we'll claim it'll look like it never came about from Gears of War. That's what it's like.
Yeah, thing is though is that it looks similar. I'm pretty sure it'll play differently. It's a lot like, I kind of think of it as, PlayStation All-Stars looks like Smash Brothers, but the moment you pick up the controller and try to play it, it doesn't play like Smash Brothers. It plays very differently. So, maybe the same thing here. It may look like Gears of War, but it probably will play very differently from it.
Right. Thoughts, Bronson? You excited?
I want to see more of it before I'm like, oh, I've got to invest in this, because I don't know. The setting seems cool, but I'm not sure if I'm so kind of done with shooters at this point in my life. Like, I like shooters, but I'm just kind of like, fucking Metal Gear's a shooter, and fucking Infamous isn't a shooter, but holy shit, is it close? Like, The Last of Us is it's technically a shooter, but not really. Like, guns, man. Guns everywhere. I'm just kind of like, holy shit, can we, maybe that's one of the reasons I'm excited for Heroes of the Storm. Yeah, I'm a huge Blizzard fan and everything, but, swords, magic. And yeah, they're guns, but who the fuck would choose a gun when you have magic?
Be a wizard.
Really?
Be a wizard.
Yeah, be a fucking wizard. What do you want?
Be
really?
a wizard, and then say, I'm a wizard.
And that looks fucked up. Oh my god.
Alright. So, cool. Moving along here. Ninja Theory. Now, this is, oh my gosh. I swear, if this freaking happens, I'm going to be at that press conference, and I don't care if I'm the only person standing up. I'm going to stand my ass up and freaking clap my hands as loud as I fucking can.
You and I are going to look like jackasses, because I know what you're talking about.
Ninja Theory working on a PS4 exclusive, possibly Heavenly Sword sequel, which was shelved a number of years ago, quite far into development. Oh my gosh, if we get a fucking Heavenly Sword 2 on the PlayStation 4, I'm going to go ape shit.
I really enjoyed Heavenly Sword.
Heavenly Sword was fucking amazing.
I have to say this: if we are getting Heavenly Sword 2, Microsoft Cameo 2, come on, Cameo 2.
That kind of reminds me, what would I get ultra stoked and be like the only person to be ultra stoked about something?
I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to figure it out right now. Sorry, I'm driving an 18-wheeler right now while talking. Yes, I'm playing Euro Truck Simulator 2 again. Maybe Dragon's Dogma. Maybe that would get me stoked. Yeah, that might do it.
But oh man, Heavenly Sword was so good. It was just way too short. I beat that game. What was it? It was like a 5-6 hour game. Come on with Heavenly Sword 2 and make a solid 12-15 hour game, and action packed. And oh man, Nariko, bring her back. Oh man, I really hope that's true. Anyways, moving along. Sony London will be at E3. First AAA title in many years, third-person title, gorgeous. They are back with a bang. What has Sony London worked on? What big titles have they came out with?
Hold that thought. I know Sony Japan worked on some cool stuff, but
I feel like Sony London is...
All right.
I just looked them up. SingStar, right?
Oh my god, yeah. I was about to say, this is the Sing... Come on, SingStar PS4. Let's make this happen.
Oh god. SingStar. I know Brad McBronson excited.
Nick, you should watch it. 60-minute access, bro.
Yeah,
we got some great talent there.
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I will.
Oh,
right, Bronson? We got some great talent.
Quality
man.
talent. Yeah, they made Sings. Oh
well,
my god.
two of them. Well, two of us had talents. 3 of us just ruined everything.
Yeah, okay, so they made SingStar and they made Wonderbook.
Oh God.
And they also made Playroom.
Guys. Wonderbook with Morpheus.
Wonderbook!
With Morpheus.
Actually, you guys laugh. You guys laugh, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if not Wonderbook, obviously, but we see them come out with something for the Morpheus.
So I'm gonna be honest. This is what I want.
Maybe SingStar with the Morpheus. You can view the crowd as you sing.
See, that's just gonna make your heart just stop.
All right, so this is what I want. Sony, if you're listening, SingStar for the PS4. Obviously, camera support because that was one of the big deals for the first two. All right, but with all your DLC and songs carrying over from the first game on PS3. Come on, let's make this happen. Let's make it happen, please. Oh my god, I'd be so fucking happy. You have no idea.
SingStar, I'd be like, okay, I wouldn't really care.
I would be like, send me the review copy as soon as fucking possible.
And we get a lovely video from Bronson.
Yeah, no, you would. And also, we do 60 minutes. So Anthony and I have a background with SingStar, more so me even than Anthony, where I got my PS3 in 2008, and SingStar came out in 2008, but I didn't buy SingStar until 2009. I got it in a bargain bin with a pair of microphones, because I thought, oh, this could be a dumb party game, and I invite my friend Joe over, and we have a blast with it. Then I invite more people over, and we have a blast with it. And buy DLC, and it just, like, snowballs into, like it took over Rock Band.
Snowballing.
And it took over Rock Band as our default party game, and a lot of that's because of the fucking camera, and a lot of it's just because it's so incredibly stupid. Okay, this, like, the last time we played it, we sung fucking MC Hammer. You know, can't touch this. Oh, yeah. And also, as you can see in 60-minute access, we did Never Gonna Give You Up.
Oh, yeah. I gotta watch this.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna. Yeah, that's all.
Oh man. All right, so Bronson's a hopeful for SingStar. Moving along, this one sounds really interesting to me, and I think if this is the case, I don't know. Personally, I think it'd be a disaster, but we'll see what you guys' thoughts are. Guerrilla Games bringing their RPG to E3. Provocative setting, very interesting, and same visuals as usual. A good reaction to the titles expected will please the hardcore. Can we see Guerrilla making an RPG?
All right, this is the setting. It is a Breaking Bad RPG. There you go. You deal meth.
I say that's a pretty twisted way to learn about economics, if I'm honest.
Hey, you want ideas?
It's like you want to learn about microeconomics. All right, we're going to teach you supply and demand. Here's some blue color. Okay, I'm not going to go far with this idea, but wow.
It'll be interesting. I mean, I love Guerrilla Games as a studio, but
all they made is shooters, so it's really going to be interesting to see them.
We'll have to wait and see what happens, and I'm sure they're working on that, and they're also probably working on the Killzone sequel as well. So, but a nice, good break for them. Moving along, Sucker Punch busy at work on an Infamous Second Son DLC. Really cool new powers, possible new setting, E3 debut. That'd be awesome. Setting. I highly doubt that.
Why would you take us away from Seattle? Why?
Yeah, I highly doubt a new setting, new powers. That'd be awesome. I just hope I think it'd be cool if it was like a side story or something. I think it'd be great. But yeah, anything for Infamous Second Son, I love that game. I still think it's the best game to launch on any of the next generation consoles thus far. So I'm very excited. I think it'd be great for them to be like, hey, here's this Infamous Second Son DLC, and we are releasing it today. Yeah. Or whatever. I think that'd be awesome. So, cool. This one would be great for many people, not so much me as I'm not into these titles, but Sony Japan Studios debuting 2, maybe even 3 titles. Project Beast, which is a spiritual successor to Demon's Souls. The other is The Last Guardian, retooled for PlayStation 4 as a possible winter 2014 title. The other title is shrouded in secrecy.
Tokyo Jungle 2.
Wait, did I hear Last Guardian? You mean like Shadow of the Colossus Team Ico people, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Hasn't that stuff been kind of like been floating around for like 5 years now?
Yeah. 6. No, wait. See, yeah, hold on. Yeah, 5 years. 5 years. So.
That is... Wow.
I really think we are going to see it because every time, Shuhei, people bring up the Shuhei, he really wants to say something, but he keeps his mouth shut. So I think we will see it.
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, it's a shame that Aaron, that Aaron never got his game of the generation, because that's what he was most stoked for. You know?
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, when they announce that at E3 this year, he's gonna like rocket off his couch. And he'll go out and buy a PS4 on credit the second that it happens. I gotta say, I picked up all the hardware for the next gen, but because of the circumstances of which I got them, the only one I kind of realized I paid for was PS4. Because I got it with working overtime cash, and it kind of all just blended together, and I bought an Xbox with my tax return. So, Anyway.
Alright, moving along. Evolution will give Drive Club some time in the limelight. It's shaping up to be incredible with jaw-dropping visuals. Demo release will be timed with the press conference. I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of people kind of lost hope for Drive Club. A lot of people aren't really excited for it. I'm really excited for it.
I think it looks cool. I mean, if it plays like Project Gotham, it's going to become one of my favorite games ever. If it just is a good racing game, that's cool.
How about you, Anthony?
For me, well, I like racing games. There's 2 kinds of racing games I really like. Racing sims like Forza and Gran Turismo. And then there are games like open world city kind of driving, like
Burnout Paradise.
Well, Burnout Paradise is cool, but more along the lines of Driver San Francisco or Midtown Madness, those kinds of city driving games. So they're kind of like in between sim and arcade, for more like driving fun, that kind of stuff. So I still like Burnout Paradise though. So Drive Club is a racing simulator, right?
Well. Yeah, it's not gonna be an arcade, but it's not gonna be Gran Turismo.
So
that kind of middle ground. That Project Gotham Driver San Francisco middle ground.
So I have an argument today on Facebook. Robert Workman, he's a freelance game journalist. He's been on our podcast once, and motherfucker people he starts this huge conversation about Burnout on Facebook, and I'm like, Burnout Paradise was perfect, and people are saying it sucked, and I never have this response to anything really, unless it's joking sarcasm, but the natural response from me in that Facebook post was, no, fuck you, Burnout Paradise is perfect. That game was so goddamn good.
The amount of fucking DLC they released for that game for free.
For free!
All those the bikes, the day changes, expanding the map. It's freaking unbelievable.
That game
but you know what has me bad grammar here, but has me hoping that we'll get an actual Burnout is the fact that it's been confirmed that the next Need for Speed is not being developed by Criterion. So, what could Criterion be working on?
Paradise 2. Paradise 2.
God.
Paradise 2.
If they freaking announced that E3, that'd be awesome.
One of the things I absolutely love about Burnout Paradise that you can enjoy every day, and I loved it the moment I saw it, was when you put the game in and you start it, it always plays that song from Guns N' Roses. Paradise City. But
it was the perfect song for the game.
it was the perfect song to start every time you put the disc in.
Take
to
me
play
down to
Burnout
the Paradise City.
Where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home?
That was a great song to start off load that game all the time. So that's one of my favorite things about that game.
Oh, man.
To this day, that's my only platinum trophy on PS3.
I
on
have
PlayStation
10.
Network.
I have 10, and that was I want to say that was my first. Yeah, that was my first. I have Burnout, the terrible Resistance Vita game, Madden 10, the three Infamouses. What else was there? The three Infamouses, PlayStation All Stars. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm trying to remember this. PlayStation All Stars. Oh, I'll remember the rest later. Fuck it. Too much work. Oh, Ratchet and Clank Crack in Time is one. Keep going. I'll remember them as we go.
All right, yeah, we'll move along here. It's also mentioned that the following publishers will be on stage: Ubisoft, pretty obvious. Electronic Arts, also obvious. Konami, sure, for Metal Gear. Capcom, Warner Brothers, probably to show Batman. Activision, obviously, for Destiny. Which, by the way,
we're getting to that.
They announced that Destiny $500 million on this project. $500 million.
So everybody,
we talked about.
Just to put that in perspective, the second place game now on the list is Final Fantasy VII, and that was like $130 million.
No, wasn't Grand Theft Auto 5?
Hold on, I'm looking at. Let's see.
I thought Grand Theft Auto 5 was the most until Destiny.
We talk about people overspending on games quite a lot. Okay. So I'm just like,
okay, so this is the total cost. You were right. It's Grand Theft Auto 5, followed by Modern Warfare 2, The Old Republic, and Final Fantasy 7. Though Final Fantasy 7, let's all remember that was in 1997. So $145 million in 1997.
You think about this. In 1997, you're talking about a Final Fantasy game on the PlayStation 1. Yeah, not on a Nintendo system. PlayStation 1.
Also, Grand Theft Auto 5 was $265 million.
So so pretty much guys, think about this for a second. Grand Theft Auto 5 was amazing visually, like how open it was, all the things you could do, and freaking Destiny is double that. Double that.
Also, although this does include marketing cost, and the estimated marketing of Destiny is $360 million. They don't have the GTA broken down because they never revealed it. Modern Warfare 2, they put $150 million into marketing, $50,000 in development. Also, it's kind of sickening to me that
$50 million. You said 50,000. You said 50,000 into development.
Man,
yeah, it was
they're paying those people pennies.
A really accessible Kickstarter, everybody. Star Wars: The Old Republic. First off, man, I remember when Star Wars: The Old Republic was coming out. Everyone's like, "Wow, killer! Wow, killer!"
Okay, Bronson. Consider the context. At the time, BioWare was one of the industry's most loved developers. So all of a sudden, EA is like giving them this blank check to voice act every single line of dialogue in this game. Yeah, let's be honest. I think it was kind of overkill when people said, "Oh, it's going to be a WoW kill." Let's be honest here. You can't really kill WoW. You can only kind of make it decline a little more. That's about it. You can't kill it and make its subscription plunge off the cliff. You can make it decline over time.
You can't slay the monster. You can only harm it slightly.
Slightly, yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's a good way.
Because how weird is it that game is about to have its 10th birthday this November, and it is started gaining subscribers again? Like, does anybody else find that weird? Like
maybe it's the Warlords of Draenor with the super hardcore look to it.
I mean, yeah, I know a ton of people who played during Burning Crusade who, because of Warlords of Draenor, are coming back. Um, and they're actually playing Pandaria and they're liking it. So that's, so I get to insult them for like, so how's it feel to be wrong? You know. Um, so fun fact here: the 12th most expensive video game ever made never came out. It was a Halo MMO.
Oh
The
yeah, I remember that.
the 11th was Too Human.
Oh, that was a
Ouch.
disappointment.
Here's the top 10: Tomb Raider, Red Dead Redemption.
Oh wait, can I talk about Tomb Raider?
Yeah,
Guys,
sure.
guys. Tress effects. Hair.
Press of, dude.
It's so
That-
dumb.
That game on the PS4 and the PC is fucking beautiful. Like, it is a gorgeous fucking game. Tress Effects is gorgeous, but man, was that just unnecessary money. And I love when, I hate that the industry is killing itself by, like, making games that it can't fucking sustain. But sometimes I just love, like going to buy a PC game like Tomb Raider and it being like, oh, hey, this has Tress Effects, this dumb new graphics card tech. And also because I have an NVIDIA card, it's useless to me. Great. Like, that's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I remember when AMD went out and just like, guys, we got Tress effects for Tomb Raider. Check it out. We're the leading edge of gaming graphics, and everyone and the PC enthusiasts were just kind of like, yeah.
It's weird
Guess
how,
what? Square Enix has figured out how to make hair look awesome without it.
I always find that graphics tech super weird over time. Like, DOA 4 came out, might as well let's call it 2006. That was 7 years ago. And, God, I feel old saying that. And everyone's hair, like the really long-haired characters, their hair looked like fucking ribbons. And, like, now, characters' hair almost looks like hair. Which, that's goddamn impressive.
That for Madden. Freaking Troy Polamalu looks like he has like a pile of like molded together black spaghetti attached to his head.
God, have you seen the
That's one
stuff
way to
for?
bring it.
Have you seen the stuff for MLB The Show on PS4?
Yeah.
It looks pretty good. Like, not amazing, but it does look like an improvement. I want to see when they're only developing for it though.
Yeah.
All right, 9 was Red Dead Redemption. That makes sense. Okay. But I'm gonna be honest, most of the games from 10 onward, except for like 2, make sense. Grand Theft Auto 4, another one, makes sense. Disney Infinity. Kinda confused?
I
tried
think
to
a
go
lot of the
after,
money was like
what was
designing
it
the
called?
toys.
What's that game called? That they tried going
Skylanders.
after? Yeah, Skylanders.
But it did really well. It actually did better than Skylanders last year, which and also it was on every platform imaginable. So it's on PS3, 360, Wii U, 3DS, PC. News story might as well talk about it now. There is a rumor that Nintendo is making their own version of Skylanders / Infinity, which I have said repeatedly on Facebook and Twitter. If they do their own version of it and it's as good as Infinity or Skylanders, I will become homeless.
Why do I feel like it's like Pokemon in a way?
Oh God! If it's like I don't want it to be only Pokemon though. Like I want there to be Zelda characters and Mario and Metroid and F-Zero. Like Infinity,
Super Smash Skylanders.
like Infinity, Disney Infinity almost got me because they got some
Freaking
cool ones in
Kirby.
there.
Throw Kirby up in there.
Kirby's rad. I like Kirby. No, like Infinity almost got me last year because they had like that Jack Skellington figure, and they had like I like the idea of those games where it's like, oh, you own this physical figure, you put it on there, and like now he's your character in game. And then like recently they announced Marvel characters for Infinity 2, and I was just like, oh,
Hey guys,
damn.
remember I Have Judgment?
That I thought that was the coolest idea when they showed it. It's just that they did. No, that was a cool idea. It's just they didn't use it for a card game people cared about. That was the problem. Like if they would have done it for Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic, that would have been the shit. Like every year, you look on PSN and Xbox Live, Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic are always the top 10 sellers. Like, could you imagine if like a game came out for the Xbox One, especially because all of them have a camera? It's just like, oh yeah, here's this Yu-Gi-Oh game or Magic game where you can use all your real life cards, and you play them and they summon on screen and shit. Like, how rad would that be? Anthony, you and I played Yu-Gi-Oh! How fucking awesome would it be if we set the Xbox up, move the Kinect down to the table level?
Let's add Project Morpheus to that, and then we just literally stood inside a Yu-Gi-Oh! TV show.
Yeah, there we go.
Man, we're just coming up with a lot of Morpheus. I'm just coming up with a lot of Morpheus ideas tonight.
But realistically, though, you and I played that awesome game of Yu-Gi-Oh! We played a couple awesome games, actually. Like, how rad would that be if, like, we moved the Kinect down to table level, and it scanned the cards, and, like, the monsters appeared on TV and shit. That'd be super cool. It's just that they made their own custom card game for it that sucked ass. You know? Like, that's straight up what it was. You know? I personally prefer Yu-Gi-Oh, but if they did Magic the Gathering for it, oh my god, it would sell easily. Like, no question it would sell. Do you know how many people play Magic the fucking Gathering? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, like, that's nuts. Like, everyone I know plays Magic. And I know you guys, I know, Nick, you've been to PAX. You know where the Annex building is, right? Like, across the street. Like, every year, what's that giant-ass poster?
Oh, yeah.
Magic the Gathering.
And there's those freaking tables, like, kind of like in the, like, kind of away from all the booths, and people are always playing Magic the Gathering there.
Yeah, and then there's also the swag bags. Like, the last time I went was 2012, and the swag bags were Magic the Gathering swag bags, and they gave you a free deck. In fact, I still have mine. I believe it's a green deck. Yeah, hold on. Here it is. Yeah. Guruk Wild Speaker. Green Planeswalker deck. Yeah. So, I don't know. That's a cool idea. Back to the list.
Cool, yeah. Back to the list. So after Activision, Square Enix, and Take-Two. Take-Two, that's interesting. We'll see what happens there. He's saying, now this, oh man, I'd be extremely stoked for this, but according to DualShockers, our source followed up to clarify that he's actually not 100% sure if Rockstar will actually be on stage or Sony will just announce the next generation Grand Theft Auto 5 on their behalf. I would love to see... This is the thing, like, of course Rockstar is going to be working on the next Grand Theft Auto, but we know that's not going to be coming out for probably another 4 years. So I think it'd be awesome if it didn't take too much time for them to pretty much just max everything out in Grand Theft Auto 5, add some things like they did with Tomb Raider, and put out on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I think it'd be amazing. I mean, just imagine what they could do.
Yeah, part of me is like, yeah, I kind of want to see 5 on the next-gen platform, but part of me is just like, I already own it. I don't really want to buy it again, whatever. So is there anything else from that one?
Yes. There will also be big titles announced for the Instant Game Collection, which that's cool. For people who don't know, that's the free games for PlayStation Plus. Knack, right? A segment on Project Morpheus, of course. One on the Sony Entertainment Network. And a reintroduction of PlayStation Now. Obviously, it's supposed to launch publicly this summer. I think they're actually going to delay it because never mind. I just think they'll delay it to the end of this year. And then price drops will be unveiled for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita, which I think that is cool to see that as well. We'll also see several smaller scale downloadable titles and some HD collections. PlayStation Vita will get some attention, but not much, as it'll be a PlayStation 4 show. PS3 will get a montage and a few new titles.
Okay.
And then finally, the show will close with a teaser of a sequel for The Last of Us.
All right, so hold up, Vita, real quick. Sony, fucking why? Why?
I feel like it's like how Nintendo treats the Wii U also, because they're like 3DS, and here's some stuff for a Wii U. 3 minutes of it, and then just moves on.
The Wii U gets more respect than this. For fuck's sake.
What was the quote again? Like, they're going to talk only a little bit about Vita, but it's a PlayStation 4 show?
Yeah.
I mean, for fuck's sake, something, anything. Like, just fucking anything, man.
Now, let's keep in mind, these are rumors. Nothing's confirmed.
I know, but like...
But you think about it. PlayStation 4 is riding on the mountain of success, the
Yeah.
best console launch in the history of video games. So you obviously want to keep talking about it, right?
Well,
You,
I mean,
you
Jim
like you
Sterling
talk
did a
about
show-
talk about what people care about, which people seem to care a lot more about the PlayStation 4 than they do about Sony's recently released PlayStation Vita Slim. So
Okay, hold up. Jim Sterling recently did a show about the Vita and how 2 weeks ago or so they had this network fuck up to where any game that you own that was a PS1 game can be downloaded on Vita. Same thing with PSP. And then they patched that bug a couple days later. So if you got Crash Bandicoot for your Vita, way to be. And it illustrates a big fucking problem. Like, if it can run on it, Sony, why don't you take time to actually make it happen for all regions? Like, God fucking damn it! Like, do you care this fucking little about this machine? Like, really? Like, it's not and it's trying to ride on the PS4, with the whole crossplay thing. It's not quoting Jim Sterling again, it's not a console barnacle. Okay? Like, motherfuck. It has its own great games. It has, it's a great. Oh, there's so much good stuff to say about the Vita. It has a beautiful screen, either version. It feels great in your hands. It's powerful. It has these great indie games, but it is riding the fucking coattails of cross-buy and the PS4, and there's so many great specialized games that can come to that fucking system. Like Danganronpa came out earlier this year. It's one of my favorite games of the year, and it's only on the fucking Vita. Why aren't you promoting that? Borderlands 2 coming out next week for the Vita. God of War Collection out yesterday as of recording
I thought
this.
Borderlands 2 was already out on the Vita.
No, it's out next week, unless you buy the bundle
Oh,
today.
unless you buy the bundle, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, so Borderlands 2, God of War Collection, promote this, fuck. I mean, Final Fantasy X-2, 10 HD came out on Vita and PS3. Only people who knew about the Vita version were Vita owners, because we're looking for great content for the system, which it does have, but you don't promote any of it. And then you obviously aren't sending any resources to make fucking games for the thing, or even bother converting PS1 games over to the fucking thing. I mean, how hard is it to fucking, go to Activision and say, hey, Activision, or who owns Crash Bandicoot now? Universal. Hey, Universal, do you want to make more money? Here, let us license this for Vita.
That's the problem. There's no Vitas.
Yeah.
Well, there are, but not many.
Yeah, there's it sold 15 million? It's just hey,
It sold that sold that many, are you sure?
I'm gonna look.
I don't think it sold 15 million. That seems a bit high.
honestly, though, I always feel like the Vita's problem is Bronson kind of already said it. They have to argue about how the Wii U is more relevant. Simple. Smash Brothers is coming out for the Wii U this December.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so what's coming for the Vita?
I mean, I can name games, but you would actually have to play them and understand why they're rad games.
You have to explain it. Whereas with the Wii U, it's Smash Brothers.
Okay.
Almost everyone knows what that is.
All right, the PS Vita worldwide is at 8.1 million.
Yeah, I was about to say 15 sounded a lot.
I mean,
high.
God, I'm just so.
Well, see, Bronson, that's the problem. Sony needs to sell Vitas before they can get anyone to make games for it. I was honestly surprised.
Sony made games for the fucker. God.
I was honestly surprised that they got Borderlands 2. The only thing I think of is Sony sent them a fucking check, because think about it. Kojima said that he was interested in the Vita, but it's just, why is he going to spend money and time when the game will be lucky to sell 500,000 copies?
I mean, yeah, just,
What's the best-selling Vita game out there?
Let me find out. I can find that out for you.
Do they even have a game that sold 1 million copies?
Oh, they do. Uncharted Golden Abyss broke that, for sure. I no doubt. Let's see. Yeah, give me a minute while I look this up. PlayStation Vita. Okay. They've had 2 games that have sold over 1 million copies. And they have a couple that have gotten close. Uncharted Golden Abyss and Assassin's Creed Liberation.
Which Uncharted Golden Abyss is because what else would... That's a game that everyone who bought the Vita day one bought.
It's like, the Vita just came out. What are you going to buy for it? Uncharted.
I mean, like...
And Assassin's Creed is because they had that bundle and because it was actually marketed.
Like, realistically, if you're making a Vita game and it gets really popular, you're probably going to get 500,000. Because that, maybe a little more if you're a big name. Because that's what the rest of them average. Call of Duty got 0.9.
That game was so bad, too. And it got close to 1 million.
I always said this.
That was exactly my point.
It was also bundled, though.
It was also bundled. But I remember saying, and I told you guys, I was like, all they need is a good Call of Duty, and the Vita will take off. And if it was a good Call of Duty, I still stand by my statement. If it was a good Call of Duty, maybe we do have 15 million Vitas out there, and maybe Call of Duty is sold 4 or 5 million copies. But nope, that game was just complete, utter trash.
I've said this before. Let me throw this out there. First off, this does not include digital sales, which the Vita is a big digital platform, so potentially it could be different. But Persona 4 Golden...
yeah, if it doesn't include digital sales, that doesn't make a big change.
But Persona 4 Golden is the 5th best-selling game on the system. I think Persona 4 Golden is one of the best games ever made. You should absolutely play that. It's worth buying a Vita for, even if you've never played it. But it has a very niche audience, and it is the 5th best-selling game.
That tells you something about the platform.
No.
I've always said this about the Call of Duty game. I'm sorry to go back a little bit, but it was as if they started working on it the day they found out that Sony announced it, and they had to work on it. So they worked on it for 3 months.
Well, yeah, they announced it, and all they showed was an image. It's like, seriously? All you showed was an image.
It was like, okay, guys.
It's just like Sony when they announced that game from Rockstar Agent, and they just showed that screen, and till this day, we haven't heard anything.
It's like, at Sledgehammer Games, they were like, wait, what? We're making what now? Oh, don't worry, guys. We're going to have the college interns do it for you.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It may say Sledgehammer, but you guys focus on making Call of Duty Ghost with your awesome dog. We're going to have the college interns make the Call of Duty game for Vita. Peace!
Yeah, it was a game made by the interns. That's what it was.
So, like, I look at the Vita, and God damn it, that pisses me off, but Sony could do more for it. I mean, why are not all these PS1 games playable? Like, especially because they all work. Like, that glitch proved they all work. Why are all the PSP games? Why fucking, why don't you bother, promoting your games?
Well, maybe that glitch was them accidentally testing something and they accidentally released it. Maybe they'll announce that at E3.
Maybe, but, why, Tearaway was one of the better games of last year. Tearaway was a great game. It used all the functions of the Vita. It was a joy to play. Media Molecule really showed their chops with Tearaway. And Killzone Mercenary was a game that anyone who is a fan of that style of game would have enjoyed. It was a really good portable game. First good portable shooter ever.
Yeah, Killzone on the Vita was awesome.
And we didn't see any promotion for these games at all. And, Sony, you can't... It's really hard to sell a console on indies, but the PS Vita would be like, why don't you promote some of these indie titles on the fucking machine? Like, yeah, Guacamelee isn't going to sell that many systems, but promoting it on Vita, that's... Oh, God, instead, you just choose to do nothing with it. At all.
Yeah, I think it's a situation where Sony has a limited marketing budget that they can spend on their PlayStation division, and they're pretty much spending all they can on the PlayStation 4 right now.
And the thing is, Vita owners buy games, so developers, I don't see why you're afraid, because especially indie developers, Drinkbox
they're
Studios...
afraid because there's only 8 million Vitas out there.
But here's a quote from the developers of Guacamelee.
The PlayStation 4 has it's been out a little over 6 months now, and the PlayStation 4 almost has that already.
All right, well, Drakebox Studios, developers of Tales from Space, Mutant Blobs Attack, and Guacamelee say, quote, people who own Sony's handheld are the fucking best when speaking to GameIndustry.biz. People rag on Vita so much. I think people who rag on Vita don't understand, at least from a business perspective, the purchasing power of Vita owners. Vita owners are serious purchasers of games. It's an amazing system. What people fail to understand is the purchasers of Vita are very, very engaged game consumers. For them, the attach rate is very high. They might not buy a lot of Vitas out there. The people who do own Vitas are very serious consumers. They buy a lot of games.
But the same applies to the PlayStation 4, though.
He also commented on Guacamelee sales on Vita compared to PS3, saying the sales of Guacamelee between the Vita and the PS3 wasn't quite even. It wasn't far off. I think that speaks to the strength of Vitas. So, he said the PS3 version sold more, but the split wasn't far off.
Well, that's because a game like Guacamelee is better played on the Vita. I mean, it's just like Peggle. Like, Peggle 2, for example, like, I haven't bought that on my Xbox One because I'm waiting for it to come out on the iPhone. Like, that's not a game I would play on my Xbox.
Well, Guacamelee is a game you can play on either. I mean, it's a Super Metroid clone, is what it is. A really good one with a lot of funny shit in it. Like, it was one of our top 10 games of last year. I mean, that speaks for itself. But you know, like, I mean, if I was a developer, like, especially if I was an indie developer. Okay, if you're making a huge title, like, yeah, okay, I can understand why you'd be a little bit tentative. But if you're a smaller
as far as indie, absolutely.
If you're a smaller studio or an indie developer, the Vita should be your best fucking friend. Because
I agree with you.
Because, like, I mean, I buy a lot of indie games on Vita just because they play better on that system. You know, like, for instance, I probably am not going to play much, like, a perfect example is Sound Shapes. I have barely touched Sound Shapes at my house. Barely touched it. It's on my PS4, it's on my PS3. I played a little bit of it. It's a great game. But I played it almost every day at work when I was working at AT&T at lunch until I beat it. And now I'm doing the challenge levels working for my new job. And, you know, like that, like those kind of games, like I look at, like, why is Transistor not coming to the PS Vita? And that's another game that would have been perfect for it.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, like, first off, also, that's coming out on the 20th. We're going to do 60-minute access of it, and I'm excited. So, anyway, but, like, it's little things, though, that Sony's doing also that's just really irritating. Like, I get that they got to promote the PS4, but a little bit more of that could be thrown at the Vita. And, I mean, like I said, they don't, like, the big games, like Borderlands, like how many people know the God of War collection is coming out for that thing this week?
Yeah.
We do this for a job, and we did, like, I didn't know it until...
Yeah, I didn't know that until recently either.
Yeah, like, I didn't know it until the day of, when I was, like, on Twitter, and someone was like, oh, cool, because I own the digital version of God of War, I get the Vita version. I'm like, and I respond, like, oh, fuck, I have the disc version, this sucks. You know, like that's, like, just, like, you don't know, like, do you guys know this? The Sly collection is coming to Vita soon.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, the Sly Cooper collection. The first 3 Slys. So now you play all 4 Slys on the Vita. Yeah.
What is their Vita PR team doing this whole time?
Yeah.
Can I just ask about that, or are they just like enjoying that PlayStation 4 success too much? They forgot that Sony actually made a handheld.
They don't have a Vita PR division. They just have one division, and they're spending maybe 5 to 10% of their money and resources on the Vita.
I'd say less.
I mean, so here's a good example. Final Fantasy X/10-2 just came out for Vita and PS3. I get that you're going to promote both versions, but, like, also say, hey, the Vita version, you can also play the Vita version and the entire legacy of Final Fantasy before it. And they're one of the few games that is fully backwards compatible with the PlayStation Network. So if you wanted to, you play Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all on Vita. You know, like that. Like, why was that not promoted at all? You know. Also, Theater Rhythm comes out on phones and on 3DS. Why not Vita also? No one's like.
Well, how
goddamn,
well is the Vita doing in Japan?
really well actually. Danganronpa is incredibly popular. Persona is very popular. Soul Sacrifice is like one of the best-selling games in Japan.
Well, yeah, the
Yeah.
8 million, that's worldwide, isn't it?
Yeah, that's worldwide.
Yeah, that's just such a low number.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, like, I would bet most of, like, in Japan, that's a relatively large number, probably. You know, like, that for that, like, the Vita in Japan's doing really well. It's getting a constant stream of great games. It's, you know, lots of people own them and play them. But that's just because, and a lot of that's just the culture of Japan. Because Japan, one, they play a lot of portable games. Two, at home, they play a lot of portable games because, like, if you live in the city in Japan, my room is like a house. You know, like Nick's apartment is like 3 houses. You know, like that, like they really cramp spaces. So having a huge TV and a console isn't exactly practical. Vita, you get those console experiences, you know, on the go. But man, like, oh god, and I'm, you know, to be fair, Sony fucked up the memory card thing. They fucked up the marketing, and this is always going to be a standout memory to me when it comes to the Vita. Is I was at PAX 2012. I was at a panel, and the host members before the panel, like, you know, we're Street Pass. They're like, yeah, who's Street Pass at 3DS? Everyone hold up your 3DS. Entire room holds up 3DSs, and then as a joke, someone's like, all right, who's doing near Vitas? Well, yeah, me and one other guy, me and one other dude. Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. Oh god. So what's next?
Alright, so that concludes Sony's rumored conference. Like I said, it'd be kind of sad if that's what it really is, because wouldn't be much of a surprise. At the same time, that'd be an awesome press conference. Regarding Microsoft, there hasn't really been too many leaks, but Microsoft has revealed that the press conference will take place on June 9th at 9:30 a.m., which is pretty much how they've done it the past few years. And then they're pretty much saying they have lots of games to show and that this year's feels special. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'd like to see some more from Quantum Break. We haven't really seen much of Quantum Break. I would just like to see Microsoft really take it out of the park. And, I mean, the Xbox One's selling well, but is trailing behind the PlayStation 4. I'd really like them to announce a couple games coming out this year. I do think Halo 5, I mean, I'm sure they'll show gameplay for that. I think it's going to be delayed, and we'll probably see Halo 2 Anniversary. But I'd like to see at least 2 or 3 more games that we haven't heard about coming out this year.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Well, I guess since Nick did all the Sony news, I guess I'm going to do all the Nintendo news. And we don't have much for Microsoft because.
Well, yeah. Before we go on, a couple more things. So, Bill Gates was in the news recently because he pretty much said to Microsoft, spin off Xbox if you want. It upset quite a few people. Like, Xbox One's doing well, and you're talking about spinning it off. Like, what do you mean? But Weight of Communications for Xbox, Frank Shaw, came out and said that Microsoft remains committed to Xbox and the millions of Xbox fans around the world. So I don't think we're going to see that happen. So no worries there. Deep Silver has announced that they are going to be showing 2 new AAA games at E3. One of those is sure to be another Saints Row. Let's hope it's better than Saints Row 4, because Saints Row 4 is garbage.
Saints Row 4 was
garbage.
The shit. It was so
garbage.
fucking amazing. Game was so fucking rad.
Garbage.
Wow, fucking go inside the Matrix and fight aliens with velociraptors. Fucking
it was garbage.
You had a gun that fired black holes. Oh my god, just no. If you don't like that game, you don't get an opinion on video games anymore. You don't get opinion.
Wow.
It was so
You
much
hate
garbage.
joy. You hate joy and fun if you dislike that game.
Yeah, that's what it was, Bronson. I hate joy.
Yes, you hate fun.
Wow.
That game was fucking awesome.
That's kind of like the person who has no opinion of Saints Row 4, like, wow. You got a person who's, like, fanatical about it, and you got a person who thinks it's absolutely terrible. And it's just like, and here I am sitting here just thinking, like...
Saints Row 4 was just plain old garbage.
Fucking Saints Row 4 was so awesome. Fucking so great. Like, they just decided, just like, fuck it, let's take it to 11. Let's just go fucking insane. And they did. They did as hard as they could. And it turned out so great because of it. And then they went even crazier by doing a Christmas special DLC. It was so good. My god, there's Metal Gear... That game has Metal Gear Solid parodies. Fucking A. Oh my god, that game is just... Oh god, there's so much good shit. Not only that, the premise itself is amazing. You're the president inside the Matrix with superpowers, fighting aliens, teaming up with velociraptors.
It was no.
God.
Saints Row 3 was awesome. I loved beating people up with a big purple dildo. It was
Well,
freaking
now
amazing.
you can do that with superpowers. How is that not better?
No. It was too much, man. Like, Saints Row 4, like, Saints Row 3 was on a manageable level, but Saints Row 4 just took it way too far.
Saints Row 4 is what's fucking just so hype. It's what's like the inside of my mind is like. Oh my god.
So, like, your mind on, like, acid is what Saints Row 4 is like. It's like you're constantly on acid in that game.
That's my everyday life, man. I live that life.
So the secret to being Bronson does acid 24/7.
Yeah. I should be concerned now.
So Anthony Tall likes snowballing, and Bronson Fiore takes acid.
Oh man!
Great, now we just need to come up with something for Nick now.
So when the Gamer Access opens their offices, we know that I can't do drug tests. Otherwise, I'll have no staff anymore.
Oh god.
Oh,
god.
Funny. But
so now we just need to figure out something for Bremen and Kyrie.
Well, Bremen, I don't know what Bremen would be. Like that's a hard one. Oh, Nick, side note, this is more this is more behind the scenes related, but I'm gonna proofread our paragraphs, and then yeah, this week comic is launching.
Great.
So
cool.
So all our people listening to this, if it's not out already, it'll be out soon.
Good to know.
You're getting 3 at once.
Cool. So 2 new games from Deep Silver Comics joining the Gamer Access. That'll be awesome. Now, the other big thing this week, and I cannot believe I am saying this. I never thought I would say this, but I am actually really excited about the next Call of Duty. I know, guys, I am saying it, but they got me. That new trailer, it looks so good.
So
it looks so good.
That trailer came out literally when I just got done watching the season finale of House of Cards. And I watched that, and I'm just like, you are fucking abusing my man crush on Kevin Spacey. And fuck you. And god damn it, now I really want to play this game. It actually probably would have been better if they would have just made him do the Frank Underwood voice. I'm not even gonna lie. Anthony,
wait,
your thoughts?
make him do it, or is he already doing it?
No, he's not already doing it. He doesn't have the southern draw to it. The draw.
Yeah, here's what I thought about it. It's a very nicely edited trailer. And if this was like film, if I was teaching a film class on how to make a trailer, this trailer is pretty freaking good. But the thing is that I kind of want to play it, but that's what a trailer is supposed to do. It's a piece of marketing. It's supposed to make a game look good. That's what it's supposed to do.
See,
that's what trailers are for. You don't get the gameplay experience through it. You only get to see what the visuals are like and what kind of story they're trying to do.
If this was the Treyarch game, I would be like, I'm sold. Cool, sign me up. Because I liked Black Ops 2 a lot. But this is the Sledgehammer game. And Modern Warfare 3 was a piece of garbage. Like, that game was fucking, like, the campaign was like 3.5 hours long, and it was nothing but like like you were literally on rails, and it was just shit blowing up. It was 3.5 hours of just shit blowing up. And then the multiplayer, like, they took an already fast game, made it 1,000 times faster, and basically just put, like, you might as well just put everyone on the map with the SMGs and said go.
Yeah,
like,
so
ugh.
so it's a nicely edited trailer, but let's be honest here. Sledgehammer, Call of Duty, really? Like, I could see why they put a lot of effort into this trailer and try to make it as good as possible. I mean, just look at the title. Advanced Warfare. What does that remind you of? Modern Warfare. Call of Duty 4. Modern Warfare. What did Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare do? It just literally sent the shooter franchise from World War II and just kicked it into the modern military scene. And so I guess what they're trying to do here is try to make it the next big thing. The new Modern Warfare, except it's called Advanced Warfare now. It has like futuristic weapons, and then whenever they've beaten this time era to death, then they're going to go into space, and then now they're going to have to compete against 343 Industries. So you've got a studio that makes nothing but Call of Duty games competing against a studio that makes nothing but Halo games. But that's for the future. So
Halo is the better franchise.
Yeah, Bronson keeps saying that when they make Halo 9.
Hey, you know what? Halo 4 is still way better than the Call of Duties that were released within the same time area.
Fair enough. So, and man, so they're trying to make this like the next Modern Warfare. Are they?
Probably not.
It's probably not. I mean, the trailer is cool, but here's the thing. I can take Dragon Age Origins, which is, I think, a good game, but from a gameplay perspective, it's not very good. But I can like edit like a fan trailer and make it look like one of the greatest storytelling things to ever happen in the last generation.
I mean, I could give Anthony the shittiest game in the world.
You could give me
The
Witch and the 100 Knight, and I would have made it look more awesome than it actually is.
We need to test this theory out. So we just got a review copy of Mugen Soul Z, and I'll probably be reviewing it unless Anthony wants to. And
Actually, that's going to be a pretty interesting experiment. Just, take a mediocre game or a bad-ish game.
Good or good-ish.
A game that has good presentation but not very good gameplay, and just, kind of fiddle a fan trailer together to see how awesome we can make this game look, even though underneath the gameplay's not that good. Dragon Age Origins. Bronson doesn't like Dragon Age Origins from a gameplay perspective, and I totally understand why. Design-wise, it's...
God.
And gameplay-wise, it doesn't get your blood flowing very easily. You play that game mainly for story, and yeah, that's why I liked it, story. Okay, so back to Advanced Warfare. They moved on from modern military, and they're moving into the future now, kind of like Crysis in a way. And when you've got as much money... When you make as much money as you do with Call of Duty, you can kind of pretty much pull in anybody you want. And in this case, House of Cards is a very good show. Kevin Spacey is a very popular actor. So, what do? Well, let's pull in Kevin Spacey. Let's have him say some Frank Underwood-like things and then sucker the entire world, or at least the entire country, sucker the entire country into it because you've got Kevin Spacey saying Frank Underwood things in your new Call of Duty game. You will like it.
If they would have just made him do the accent and just admitted it, I would have been way more okay with it. I would have just been like, okay, fuck it, why not? Just House of Call of Duty, I'll take it.
Have him say a Frank Underwood thing. Have him talk about democracy and the idealistic things about bringing democracy to a third world country kind of thing. Because this is between the future in space and the present military. Hey, let's have Kevin Spacey from modern days and have him dress like the Elusive Man and have him, him and freaking whoever that dude's fictional character that Kevin Spacey's acting as. Have him and the Elusive Man sit down at a bar one day and talk about, whatever they talk about.
Anthony, you're making a way more interesting video game than they could call him Mass Effect. But look, as long as we're talking about this, have you guys? I know Anthony has. Nick, have you watched House of Cards?
I haven't.
Dude, it's so good. Like it
It's
is one
very
of those
good.
shows.
It's
Yeah,
like
dude.
it plays on that fear that politicians are evil, or they don't really have the best intentions. It's a game. It's basically kind of like a game of how you can stab people, like that. Like, you know, that kind of nagging voice in the back of your head every time people talk about politics and stuff like that. This show plays off of that,
It's
and
kind of
it
like
does
our
it
game of the
really
year.
well.
It's kind of like our game of the year awards.
I would say Frank Underwood is a lot better than our Game of the Year awards. Like, he's much better at it. I mean, you know what he does is that he tells one person half of a story tells a story that's only half true, and then tell another person a different story, but that is also half true. So you got like conflicting information, and he's just like, I mean, House of Cards. It's like a game, just manipulating
Nick,
people.
Yeah, Nick, you have a Netflix account,
with
right?
half truths.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, dude, get on House of Cards straight up.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Dude, it's so good. My God,
Yeah.
like just
So
like it is up there with Breaking Bad. Like it's that good. So
yeah, so back to what I was saying. So yeah, it was just like have Kevin Spacey say some Frank Underwood things. Hello, Frank Underwood. I'd like you to meet the elusive man. You two will get along very nicely, and they would. That's how I see it. And whatever highlights footage they showed, okay, kind of cool. Looks kind of like Titanfall. At the same time, maybe a little bit of Crisis in there. Don't know. And
so
the trailer's really good. I watched the entire trailer. Normally, I would watch like the first 10 seconds of a Call of Duty trailer and just click it off and don't care. Don't care at all. But I watched that entire trailer, partly because they suckered me. Well, obviously, Kevin Spacey would sucker you into watching the whole thing.
Well, yes.
And it was a very nicely edited fan trailer. Sorry, not fan trailer. Trailer. And, you know, and it got me a bit. I want to keep an eye on it. Because they want to make this the next Call of Duty 4. Well, we're going to see. But considering a lot of enthusiasts are just they're done. I'm tired. I'm done.
All right.
Like you got my interest up, but I kind of watch that more like, ooh, that's a very cool video, more than ooh, I want to play that game. I don't want to play it.
Anthony, you know what?
It's like a game I would sit down and Google and watch the cutscenes. That's just all I want to do with it.
Here's the thing: you think you're burnt out? I've played them all. Like I don't know what it is. I have this sick curiosity where I actually have to play them. You know, like I played every.
You finally
single
managed
one.
to skip Ghosts, right?
No, I played Ghost. I didn't finish Ghost. Ghost was the first one I didn't finish. So
yeah, maybe I'm just tired of hearing it because it's like, guys, stop talking about Call of Duty.
Right now we're kind of in the dead zone, so I kind of want to go back and try and finish Ghosts.
Yeah, like to me, it reminds me a little bit of how I feel about the Transformer movies and that new one that they're gonna come out with soon, Age of Extinction, or is that already out?
I don't know.
But Age of Extinction, remember when we watched the Super Bowl and they did another Transformer commercial and we're just like, oh, well. And then they start showing, like, freaking mech dinosaurs and dragons.
Yeah,
and all
like,
of a sudden we started
shit.
caring even though we realized it's Transformers and it's, like, the dumbest thing ever. Same feeling here. I somehow have this feeling that I'm not going to care one bit. It's probably going to play okay, just like, you know, most of the other Call of Duties that I found okay. Guess Modern Warfare 3 was okay, 2 was good, and Call of Duty 4 was good, but I don't care. But that trailer just suckers you in, so.
I really dislike Call of Duty Ghost, especially its multiplayer. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was really good, I actually liked it. Modern Warfare 3 was garbage, Black Ops was garbage, Modern Warfare 2 was good, World at War was garbage.
I think the worst Call of Duty I've ever played up to this point was Black Ops 1. I did not play Black Ops 2 and I did not play Ghosts because, you know, after Modern Warfare 3 I just gave up completely. And I did play Black Ops 1 and yeah, that game was really mediocre and kind of lousy, but it was very funny because, you know, it was really easy to make fun of.
Alright, so
Here's
so
the
we
thing.
got-
Here's the thing I'm concerned about.
Well, okay, continue, Anthony.
Everyone is going to buy it because that video has 13 million views on YouTube. I think everyone's watched it.
Well, everyone was gonna buy it anyway. Like, fucking, it's Call
The
of Duty.
thing that's gonna make me really sick of it is it's gonna break records again.
Ghost didn't break records.
I wouldn't be
mean-
surprised if Advanced Warfare breaks records. First off, you just suckered everybody into watching your trailer, so it might break records.
Alright.
Or at least come close. Like, Grand Theft Auto 5 was like, wow.
Well, yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Grand
was
Theft Auto
fucking-
5 just pulled in so much money in so little time that's like, how is this even possible? And, but before that, every year, there was a point where every year Call of Duty was breaking some sales records somewhere.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto is just like this horrible fucking monster that just consumes everything. But gotta move forward. Nintendo news.
Sorry.
What do you have? Sorry, we
Yeah,
didn't
before we
finish.
go on there, I'm going to wrap it up with what I have. So Electronic Arts went across the earnings report. They announced a net revenue of $4,012 million. Pretty solid. But during the conference, they explained that they're going to show 6 games currently in development at E3, and that a new publishing deal has been made with Respawn Entertainment to bring new Titanfall experiences in the future to gamers around the world. While the world sequel wasn't uttered during the call, it's pretty much a given. They also said that Titanfall between PC and Xbox One and the Xbox 360, they have sold altogether 925,000 units. So they haven't even sold 1 million yet.
Wow.
Titanfall hasn't sold 1 million yet?
Nope.
Wow. Hold
Wow,
on.
I was kind of surprised
Souls.
because I was thinking like Titanfall was going to be like that thing that's going to give, PC gaming another boost and that's going to give the Xbox One a boost, and then it just kind of was just quite flat.
All right, I'm checking the VG charts for Dark Souls 2. I know, so I'm curious to see. All right, so the PS3 version, which will obviously be the more hyped version, has sold 810,000. Then you dump the 360 on top of that, which has sold 350,000. So, as of right now, Dark Souls 2 is outselling Titanfall.
That's crazy.
That's awesome. Thank you, gaming community. I love you. You're doing the right thing. With me. Make it happen. Dark Souls 2 outsells Titanfall. Let's make the dream a reality. Anyway. So we're on to Nintendo news now, and a lot of it broke today. A lot of it bad, some of it good. We'll open with the good.
How about we start with the bad first? Because with Nintendo, I always want to try and end it positively.
Okay, sure.
So the bad news.
Because my last piece of news for the day is we have to talk about a fucking horrible Spider-Man movie.
Okay, so I'm gonna open it up and then Russ is getting the details. Hey guys, Nintendo's still losing money. A lot of money.
Nintendo has lost nearly $500 million total. And they have only sold 6.17 million Wii U's. Granted, their sales expectations for the year from 9 million to 2.8, and they came in at 2.7. They were hoping for a 100 billion yen profit to a 35 billion loss, but this was too underestimate by 11 billion. So they actually didn't lose as much money as they thought they would. They're hoping to do really well this next year with Mario Kart 8, Smash Bros., and they will have the sales of, let's see, and Nintendo is surely hoping things will turn around with strong sellers from last year, like Pokemon X, Luigi's Mansion, Mario, Zelda, etc., and all of which managed to hit 2 million or more. Pokemon X and Y was one of the best-selling games of the year with 12.26 million. Yeah, that Wii U, man, it's hemorrhaging money. And that sucks, because it's a great console. In my opinion, the Wii U is going down, in my opinion, as one of the most underrated consoles of all time. Like seriously, it has some great
Wow,
games
that's a pretty
for it.
bold statement.
Well, yeah, because it keeps releasing great games, but just no one gives a fuck. Like Mario, great. Zelda, great. Monster Hunter, great. Pikmin, great. Like they keep just they keep knocking it out of the park, but no one gives a shit for whatever reason. Wonderful 101, great. Like all these games are rad. Like if you ask me which console has the best library right now, granted the other two have only been out 6 months versus the Wii U's year, I would say the Wii U, and it's cheaper. It's the Wii U. If you don't count the game, like you gotta factor in the Wii U comes with a game, so really it's $250 if you minus the game that comes with it. So I mean, yeah, and then there's a lot of different options too. You can get a Zelda bundle, a Mario bundle, or a Mario Kart bundle. Either way, that's some bad news for Nintendo. They do have their latest best-selling Wii U games in. The best-selling Wii U game is Nintendo Land because it's a pack-in, followed by New Super 3D World, Mario 3D World, New Super Luigi U, Wii Party U, and Wind Waker HD, also a pack-in. Yeah.
I really like Super Mario 3D World.
3D World's a great game.
It's I want to say it is the best Mario game I've played yet.
It's up there for me. It's definitely up there. But like Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze that came out in February. No one has talked about it. It's my favorite game of the year so far. It's better than Infamous. It's better than Metal Gear. It's better than Titanfall. If you own a Wii U, you should absolutely go play Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. As for the 3DS, in 6 months, Pokemon has outsold every other game on the 3DS. Lifetime. With 12.26 million copies sold and downloaded. Second is Mario Kart 7 with 9.62. Then the two Mario games, then Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion, Ocarina of Time, and then a bunch of other stuff. So, we're finally on to some good news. Nintendo has showed off a near-field communication Mario figure. Basically, they said they plan to reveal more about their near-field communication project at E3, which, Anthony, how do you feel about Nintendo Skylanders?
I'm not very familiar with how Skylanders works. I think it's like you put your monster into the game and you control it and accomplish things. That's all I really know.
All right, so I'll explain what these games are. You have a portal, and you put your figure on it, and then that figure appears in the game, and you play as that character. And each one has specific moves and stuff. So, like for instance, like let's say we're playing Infinity, and we get to this fight scene that's really tough, and the two characters from Frozen aren't cutting it. Swap them out for the Incredibles. Like that's
see, it works well for Disney, but for Nintendo, it's like, do Nintendo fans? Let's be honest here. The Wii U is kept alive because of Nintendo fans. Is how I feel is the case right now.
Yeah.
Do they really care about this? Because I personally don't think it's a good idea.
How? Like, this is amazing. This is like first off, if I was a child, this would be witchcraft to me.
As a child, I would. I don't actually. To be honest, I don't look. None of us have children, so we have no idea what they're thinking like right now. For all I know, they could not give a crap at all about Nintendo Infinity, and instead would continue with what they already know of, which is Disney Infinity or Skylanders, and they would continue with that. Like with Nintendo, it's my concern is like, is anyone actually going to buy this?
So,
like help? Is this going to help Nintendo's financial reports in any way?
I think it could. Like, I think. Well, first off, I mean, I've talked to people; they all like the idea behind it. Like, granted, all the people I've talked to are hardcore gamers who grew up with Nintendo, but like the hardcore Nintendo fan is gonna be hella into this. Like I already buy Nintendo figures, so then you tell me I can put them in a game. That's awesome. And like I said, I would go broke because of this game. Like I would buy the Zelda set, the Mario set, the F-Zero set. Like like Anthony, think of it this way: like you and I playing co-op. I have the Wind Waker set, you have the Twilight Princess one. Think about it.
That would be really cool. Thing is that it would be kind of expensive, and I'm just like, look, my main concern is that the concept sounds really cool. Will people actually buy it? And it's not just you go up to someone and say, hey, do you think this is a cool idea? No, it's just that you have to go up and say, would you willing to spend like $100 on something like this? Now,
Okay.
having Zelda Twilight Princess figure sitting on my desk would be like freaking awesome, because now it serves a dual purpose. I can use it in the game, and it'll be awesome decoration for my bookshelf and desk.
Well,
that would be freaking awesome.
So here's the
it's
thing.
like, is the cost going to be worth it, and are people going to buy it? Because it's yes, Disney Infinity is awesome, but also just because the shooter genre is popular and you make a shooter doesn't mean you'll be successful.
Oh, I realize that, but Nintendo is a far better game designer than Activision or Disney.
Nintendo also went to the people who made Dynasty Wars and say, hey, here's Zelda, can you make a Dynasty Warriors-like game with Zelda?
Hey,
they also branch out and have other developers do things for them.
And we don't know if that's bad yet.
They haven't made a good Dynasty Warriors game in a long time, which has me worried about the Hyrule game.
Hey, the last Dynasty Warriors game was like a 7 or an 8. Did okay.
I know, but before that, they had some really bad ones, which really were, because I looked into it, and it worries me.
Yeah, granted, I enjoy those games for what they are.
Nintendo reached out to Square Enix to make a game, and what did they come up with? They came up with like a Mario Sports Pack, and it wasn't very good.
All right, well,
it's like stuff like that.
Well, supposedly Nintendo's the one making this, so all right, and let's.
I know Nintendo's a good game designer, but you can also ask the Spec Ops the Line people and ask them how that turned out. And I understand Nintendo has better name recognition, but then again, Nintendo's name recognition didn't sell any Wii U's either. So,
well, yeah, that's because
it's so complicated to the point where I'm like, is this really a good idea? Will people really buy it?
Let's forget this. Let's forget this. If will people buy this thing? Let's say that there's a good core action adventure game here, and it does the figure thing. How could you or I or anyone that's a hardcore gamer not be hella interested? At least if they're Nintendo fans.
Well, it's interesting. It's very interesting.
I mean,
would I buy it? Well, I probably need to look more into Disney Infinity, if I'm honest, because I'm not very familiar with it other than the video that they show on those little Best Buy stands. In the gaming section. I don't know much about Skylanders or Disney Infinity. I just know that it's popular enough that GameSpot has an entire small wall dedicated to nothing but figures. So yeah, I just know it's very popular with children.
There's a huge section of Walmart. If you go to the gaming section of Walmart now, there's all the stuff that we pay attention to, and then there's 2 rows. One is Skylanders, one is Infinity. And I think that Nintendo could get into that market. And this is how they do it. They say, here's our, it's the same, this is what they'd have to do. They'd have to say, here's our starter pack, same way Infinity did. And their starter pack would have to have characters that everyone gives a shit about. And that would, this is what the pack would have to do. It would have to have Mario, Pikachu, some form of Link, probably Skyward Sword, and what would be a good 4th character? Help me out here.
Did you already mention Samus?
Samus, there you go. That'd be a good 4th character. And then in the packs, you have Wind Waker Link, a Wonderful 101 character, maybe Bayonetta. Who knows?
See, for me, that stuff would sucker me in because I would just buy it solely for the figures, just mainly to sit on my desk.
If it's a decent game and then you have those figures, this is why this is evil. This is why I've been saying I would fucking die. Think about that.
The thing is that if they did this with Pokemon, and then you stuck it into this is why I think it's a good idea. They need to get Pokemon into this because with Zelda, well, let's be honest here. When Skyward Sword came out, I absolutely loved it, but I kind of noticed everyone else was kind of feeling only lukewarm about it. They weren't really exactly Twilight Princess excited, or Ocarina of Time excited, or even Wind Waker excited, which is kind of that Zelda game that I really, really love, but everyone else just has really no opinion of it. Zelda is not really quite what it used to be. Metroid definitely wasn't what it used to be. Heck, we haven't had a Metroid game since Other M, and I thought Other M was actually good. Pikmin. Well, Pikmin happened, but they need Pokemon. That's big. Like, can you imagine that they made like a Pokemon Stadium type game, and then you just scan Pokemon figures into it to use them?
Oh, Anthony, stop giving them ideas. Do you want to go broke?
Hey, my concern with them is whether people would buy it. Best way to solve it now is to get a Pokemon Stadium type setting with the mini
Pokemon thing. Like, if you did the Pokemon thing, that would sell. That would sell so hard.
And you know what? That's what I think. It's like, if you want to do this, you need to get Pokemon in, because Pokemon's a big deal, and I love Pokemon Stadium. Why not just put figures into there? Like, I would be a total sucker.
Worst.
Go out there, find a Nidoking figure, and just put it in the game, and just be like, yes.
God, you and I would go crazy. We'd be going to like every store. Like, do you have Gengar and Nidoking? Do you have?
It's like trading cards. It's like trading cards, but with figures. It's gonna be like you and I are gonna get obsessed as we try to collect the 150 set and go broke in the process. Oh man, that's so evil. I'm gonna like buy like 2 bookshelves and just be like, hey guys, here's my 151. Yeah, and I'm gonna start in the Hoenn region now.
God,
because I kind of don't care. I don't really care too much about the Johto region. But Ruby Sapphire though, I do care about. So. Man,
segue.
Can you imagine the expense that Nintendo's going to have to eat to make all 800 of Pokemon? Because they got themselves into a deep hole when they put out X and Y and decided to make another 100. So
could you imagine like just a Nintendo one though? Like all the characters, like Mario, like just think of like Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong. Fucking Peach, Daisy, Wario, Waluigi, Birdo, Yoshi.
Can I just get figures from Majora's Mask, please?
Why?
Just please.
Why? Nightmare Fuel?
Well, it's not just Nightmare Fuel, but there's like the Fierce Deity link, and I'm just like, I have to get that. I have to get that.
Dude, that would be sick. Nick, is there any Nintendo figure that you would get geeked on for Nintendo Infinity?
I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be cool, but I'm not into the whole concept. I mean, yeah, it's cool, but even if it was like Sony characters, it's not something I would really gravitate to.
Fierce Deity Link would be the shit. That
I mean, I imagine. Oh man, freaking it! Look, I happen to be aware that because it says Deity in the title, I imagine it would be uber rare. So it's gonna be like one of those. Shit, how much am I going to pay for one of these? If it's a limited run.
Yeah, like I'm very much the same. Like I thought about that for Bayonetta, right? Like I'm a big fan of Bayonetta. I think it's an amazing game, and I would want a Bayonetta figure. So I'm like, okay, they're not going to print many of those, if any. Oh God, how much is this going to cost me? And
I guess it's kind of like one of those you have to really keep your eye on it and not forget it, because it's kind of like. I feel like it's sort of like a Xenoblade Chronicles situation. Like Xenoblade Chronicles, I got the game. It's a very rare game. You can only buy it from one retailer in North America, which is dumb. And yeah, my copy of Xenoblade Chronicles the cover is really wrinkled, and the disc may have a minor scratch or two on it, but it's actually the most valuable game in my collection right now, even with its wrinkled up case, because it's so rare. So it's like. Man, some of these figures are gonna cost a fortune if you don't jump on them right away. Oh man. You know what, bros? I can't believe that freaking I guess the moment I said Pokemon, I suddenly just sold myself on the idea now.
Yeah, like here's the thing, like for me, like I'm looking at like so I love figures. I have a lot of them all over my desk. And I have that Lightning figure. I looked at the price of a similar thing for Bayonetta, and I just wanted to cry because they're $100.
Wow.
Yeah, and the fucked up part is I'm thinking about it. Like I'm just like it would have to be after E3, like way after. But if we do it, but like it would have to be like sometime during like the end of summer. But man, I'm just like, well. I really liked Bayonetta, and man, if that second game is as good as if the second game is even just as good as the first, like I am gonna base my entire argument for Game of the Year is but Bayonetta.
That's like Nintendo. Like when you think figures, you kind of need a very big selection, And Pokemon seems to be like the big one. Because with Zelda, it's kind of like, you think Zelda, what are some of the big characters in Zelda? Well, you think Goron, you think Azora, you think Link, Zelda, Ganondorf. Like, you can name like maybe 10 or 15.
Mario, like, you think about Mario, though, you have a huge lineup of Mario.
You have a huge lineup of Mario, but that's like what some of the most popular ones you can think off the top of your head. You could probably list about 10 or 15 of them. Actually, just look at a Mario Kart roster. That would probably do it.
Yeah,
quite nicely.
But
then you look at Pokemon, and it's like there's so many figures you can make with Pokemon. And let's be honest, Pokemon is a pop culture phenomenon, and Nintendo owns it. So that's why I think that could solve my concerns with will it sell. Pokemon could do it because with Disney, Disney doesn't even have 491 characters under a single franchise. Yeah, they have Pixar, but you don't have 491 Pixar characters yet. You do have at least 491 Pokemon. I don't even know what the official count is anymore. They made so many. Some of them are so dumb, but man, heck, if you just went up to Ruby Sapphire, at the end of Ruby Sapphire, you had 381. And I don't think that counts. I don't know if that counts Deoxys or not, but 381's a lot. Hey, Final Fantasy 1 through 6, right? That was on Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
Yeah, if you want to get third parties, this gets really nuts.
If they can get third parties, because let's be honest here, it's hard to get third parties, and if you do get third parties, sometimes you get the wrong ones. Like, just look at PlayStation All Stars. It's like, really, New Dante? Really?
All right, well, we need to move on to the last piece of Nintendo news here, which is Pokemon.
So the good news.
Yes, well, I'd consider that last piece good news, but anyway, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
There's a game that I'm
November.
There's actually next November or this November?
This November.
See, now I have a game that I actually am super stoked about because this is basically it. My favorite Pokemon games ever are Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, or more specifically Sapphire and Emerald. Because let's be honest here, they were my first Pokemon games, and I kind of argue that usually the first or second generation of games that you get into are going to be your most favorite, because to you, at that point, Pokemon is new. Like, for me, Ruby Sapphire was when it was new. Actually, to be honest, the very first Pokemon games I played was Silver, but I sucked at it so much, and I wasn't really a fan of its pixelated graphics. It was so pixelated that I was like, huh? But
yeah, see, my favorite
Ruby
is
Sapphire was like the huge jump upwards. Super Nintendo graphics now. You get some good clarity.
My favorites were Red and Blue and Gold and Silver because those were the ones I started with.
Yeah. And I don't know how many hours I spent in Sapphire. I started so many new games, especially now that it has a dead battery. I spent so many hours into Sapphire. I think it's probably 100 or 200. I spent 181 hours into Emerald. Love those games. They're design-wise, I probably would have preferred the Johto region. But as far as presentation and feel, which is kind of what I value more in games, I love Ruby Sapphire. Love it so much. And I know the remake was going to happen eventually. They already did Red and Blue. They already did Silver and Gold. Ruby Sapphire is next in the line. And now they have announced it, I will flat out go out and buy it. And I don't know how much time I'll spend on it, though. But, oh, man, I love Ruby Sapphire so much. I mean, heck, there's probably some Stockholm Syndrome in there, too, because the freaking berry machine I hated that berry machine, but at the same time, I like it now, because it's a memorable moment of me constantly hating the stupid berry machine and all the stupid berries I had to grow to even make a good berry enough, so that way my Raichu can win the cool contest. It's like, wow, what the hell?
Anthony, it's okay. They can't hurt you anymore. They can't hurt you anymore. They'll be okay.
But the game is coming out this year, though. And I'm going to relive that. And I don't know whether I'm going to think, oh, cool. I remember the berry machine. Or I'm going to think, fuck the berry machine.
This is basically what's going to get me to buy this game or not. Can I transfer these Pokemon to Pokemon X? I can? Great.
I think you can. I think you can because let's be honest here. Pokemon X has to have the entire Pokédex, right?
Yeah.
So it would make sense to be able to trade back. And
let me get my
and that's cool because
of...
I'm going to buy this game, and basically all you have to do is like, hey Anthony, could you catch like 100 of these? And I'm like, holy shit, dude.
It's just like, here, Anthony, here's a shopping list.
Here's a shopping list. Can you get? I mean, what Hoenn region Pokemon that Pokemon X doesn't have? Because I didn't play that game very much. I only played 24 hours X and stopped.
I'll look up the Hoenn region Pokemon that I would actually want. Hold on.
You would want the legendaries, but I'm not going to give that up.
I'm going to count a Groudon for myself. Who do you plan to be your starter?
When I started Sapphire for the first time, I picked a Mudkip.
I picked Torchic.
Yeah, but at that time, I wasn't very good at Pokemon games. Who
would you pick now?
I'll probably still go for Mudkip. Let's be honest, having a water ground type is kind of cool.
Okay, yeah, if you can breed me one of those, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's like kind of cool because it's like, hey, guess what? I don't have to worry about electrical weaknesses. Because why? Because it's a ground type. Good luck.
Yeah.
Mind you, it is weak against ice types now, but there aren't many ice type Pokemon out there that I know of.
Definitely breed me one of those. Let's see. Looking through here. Wow, there is not much from Gen 3 that I want. Look through.
I'm tempted to get my Game Boy Advance, but I guess that's a bad idea.
Yeah, Whale Lord would be cool. I like whales. Pretty rad.
Whale Lord is so huge. You basically just have to look at like Pokemon Coliseum, and it's just like, oh.
Man, did I really not like that? Let's see. Cacleon I can get on my own. Man, there are not many Pokemon that are from Gen 3 that I want. This kind of bums me out.
Man, I am gonna look at the list now and see if there's anything.
Okay, yeah, I'm done. Yeah, most of what I want are legendary, so it's fucked. Okay, well, that's that. So, apparently the Amazing Spider-Man 2 has not been doing very well. At all. Most movie reviews are calling it garbage, and in its first weekend, it actually did worse than the Seth Rogen, Zac Efron movie, Neighbors. I really disliked the first Amazing Spider-Man. I thought it was boring. Just thought it was poorly written. Didn't really have a plot at all. Yeah. So I haven't seen the second one yet.
I'm trying to remember the first Spider-Man movie, because let's be honest, a lot of comic book movies I watch, I don't remember any of them. I don't even remember the plot. Like, what was the? I'm just struggling to remember the plot of the first Spider-Man movie. But for some reason, I remember the plot of Spider-Man 3, which is weird, and I remember
Spider-Man 3
and I remember Man of Steel.
Not as bad as everyone says.
I don't know why I remember the plot of Spider-Man 3. I guess it was just like.
Everyone
I remember the plot is like there was
movie.
Sandman, and then there was Eddie Brock, and then
that's because the parts of Sandman in that movie actually work really fucking well for a movie. It makes sense.
Like Spider-Man 2 was like what? Dr. Octopus, right?
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is an amazing movie. Like that is a great film.
Like Spider-Man 2 was Dr. Octopus with the screwed up little control unit thingy, which was scary. Yeah, that was kind of scary. Yeah, and Spider-Man 1 was Norman Osborn and Green Goblin, right?
Yeah, and he fought the Green Goblin under that bridge, and like he used spider sense to backflip over the glider, and Green Goblin impaled himself on the glider.
Yep, definitely remember that part now.
Yeah, that movie's on Netflix. I'm actually in the process of rewatching all these movies before I go see the second one next week. Before the second Amazing one. And you're like, God, why are you watching this? Because I want to know if I've had so many people I know who are fans of comic books just fucking love this movie, but they hate the third one. And I'm just going to, like, I like the Spider-Man comics, but I'm not a super obsessed fan of them. I'm way more obsessed with Batman, which is why I bitch more about the Batman movies. Uh, so that's why, like, when I watch Spider-Man 3 and everyone's complaining, I'm like, okay, Venom doesn't really work that well in this movie. And so there's too many villains. And Peter Parker whined a little too much, but not that much. And then everyone complains about the scene where Peter Parker is trying to be cool and how it's painful to watch. That's because it is supposed to be that way. It is supposed to make... Okay, frame of reference here. Peter Parker is supposed to be geeky, like super, like has no idea what cool is, and the symbiote has no idea what it is because it's a fucking alien. So, like, Peter Parker trying to be cool and failing miserably is supposed to be painful to watch. And then same thing with him in the black suit. It's supposed to be you're supposed to dislike him in the black suit. And you do, and everyone complained about that. Like, no, you don't get the point of this movie. Quit being dumb. And I typically don't, like, use writer's intent to, like, argue for a movie, but this is one of those rare exceptions. Hello?
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Yeah, we kind of at this topic a lot. Heck, we talked about it again in like our upcoming infamous 60-minute access. Like,
I've been arguing with people about Spider-Man for the past week, and it occurs to me is that, like, the general public has, like, I don't have good taste in movies, but the general public has horrible taste in movies.
Actually, you kind of brought up a good point when you said, like, Peter Parker having no idea what cool is. It's like you asking me what my idea of cool is. And I'll be like, suit, maybe? And guess what? Peter Parker wears a suit.
Peter Parker wears a fucking suit!
He went to a place and bought a suit. Okay, I remember that scene pretty well, and I'm like, you know what? That makes sense. Because what do cool people think? Well, if you are geeky, what do you think is kind of cool? Like, what do you think is cool? And I'm just like, well, being classy. What does being classy mean? Wearing a suit. And going to a club.
Oh,
maybe?
Congratulations.
I don't even know. Okay, because it's like, what is my, like, I'm probably the staff member that's closest to being like Peter Parker. Just like kind of into nerdy shit, but really shy and has kind of problems with talking to people. I think, for me, I like being classy. And, well, classy is a suit. So,
I'm just...
That first checkbox is done.
And if we had a podcast about movies, like, that would literally just be like a 2-hour Bronson Rants every week. All that would be. And then, like, when really good movies go to theaters, they perform very poorly. Like fucking Scott Pilgrim. Alright. So, I really hope... So, from one thing I've heard about Spider-Man 2 is, like, there's all this shit that's, like, setting up all these other films, and this is basically just, like, a giant, like, hour-and-a-half long setup for, like, 8 different movies. And I hope this movie bombs bad enough that those never happen. And that's just me off seeing the first one. I haven't even seen the second one yet, so who knows? Maybe
the first one was...
It didn't have a plot!
I didn't know what to think about the first one. It was just kind of like...
It didn't have 3-act structure. It had a beginning and an end.
All I remembered was it's like, hey, it's Peter Parker again. And guess what? He's going to get bitten again. And guess what? We're going to bring in a popular villain. Hey, let's bring in a weird-looking lizard.
The lizard is actually a way cooler villain than that movie led on to be. But god damn it. Also, they didn't make Peter Parker like Peter Parker. I'm sorry, Peter Parker doesn't skateboard. Peter Parker, if he were to get on a skateboard...
I don't remember Peter Parker very much. I guess it says something when I don't even remember what the Peter Parker in that movie was like. Other than Uncle Ben got shot.
And, I was so mad when they didn't have the line. We all know that line that has been in Spider-Man forever, and they didn't have him say it, and I was so mad. I was like, this movie is fucking, oh my god. Like, in that first movie, everyone knows the line. Do I even need to say it? Anthony, what's the line?
With great power comes great responsibility.
And fucking Uncle Ben didn't say it on his deathbed. I was just like, fuck you. Fuck you in the worst way.
I don't even remember the Peter Parker in that movie very well, and I'm just like, other than the fact that he somehow managed to get, I just remember the scene where he just sat at his computer and it's like, I just Googled some really strong string for his web slinging thingy.
Yeah.
That was kind of like all I remembered.
Yeah.
Whereas in Spider-Man 1, 10 years ago, I don't know how long ago it has been, I just remember that Peter Parker gets bitten and they did this pretty cool CG genetic thingy scene where his DNA gets changed a bit and he wakes up, and I remember the pretty funny scene where his whole room was just covered in webbing.
Yeah.
And I also remember the first time he did his web sling and he web slung right into a brick wall, and that was pretty funny.
Yeah, and that was a
screw up that I thought, you know what, that's the kind of screw up that I think fits Peter Parker. Just kind of panics and just web slung into a brick wall.
And here's the thing, that is what everyone needs to go rewatch that first Spider-Man trilogy, and then go watch the first Amazing movie. And if you still think that Amazing movie is better, you need to go you don't get an opinion on movies anymore. Because you obviously know nothing about storytelling or writing or movies. So, God. And Sam Raimi is a fucking great director. His shit's hella campy, but it's still really good.
To be honest, though, I actually don't read comics at all. At all. But, I mean, I kind of, occasionally I just do a Google search and just read up on some Spider-Man stuff, and I'm just like, oh, I'm going to read more about each of the villains in Spider-Man. I guess the movies kind of did that because, Spider-Man's kind of cool, actually. I mean, obviously, Spider-Man is not a Batman, but as far as Marvel characters go, I mean, I probably should look more into X-Men, because let's be honest, X-Men is probably really cool and probably clicks with me better, but I don't know anything about X-Men. I haven't even watched a single X-Men movie yet. But Spider-Man, it's just kind of like, Spider-Man's kind of cool. So...
Well, you guys know that fucking X-Men is just a giant gay parable, right?
No.
Do you even know what that means?
Nope.
X-Men is all about being gay. That's what the X-Men is about. It's a metaphor for being gay. Does anyone want me to go on this tangent?
I'll say that for another time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone who wants to see this, look up Kevin Smith went on this rant. Look up Kevin Smith X-Men gay. There you go. Yes, do we get to questions?
Yes, we should.
All right. So, first question or comment is from Cray T. The name of the podcast, Laughing My Fucking Ass Off. Yep.
That was pretty interesting because I was thinking, this is mildly entertaining. The Magical Ride on Rainbow Road. And I don't, normally I usually take a topic of ours and stick it into the title, but I kind of realized I couldn't figure that out. I just remembered that Bronson and I last week, we just sat down and we talked about the Magical Rainbow Ride. And then we just suddenly became the Magical Ride on Rainbow Road. As a reference to Mario Kart. Because we had just done Double Dash a few days before that. So, glad you liked the title.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was funny or entertaining, but from your response, it's pretty entertaining. So, alright. We need to come up with cooler titles next time.
Yeah. So, next up is Jay Swank. Can't wait for PS4 to debut and 6-bit access. The time has finally come. Yes. We played a little over an hour of Infamous and an hour of Metal Gear. So, yeah.
We played through an hour of Metal Gear, meaning we finished it.
Yeah, we finished it. We finished it. So, I hope you're ready for that. You get to see incompetent Stealth Bronson.
Well, not only do you get incompetent stealth bots, but you also get like freaking a really, really, really disturbing graphic scene played to NinCat music. Shit.
And if I could get, I am going to do my damnedest to get that authorized for our panel at Game Expo. I'm gonna.
No.
You can't
No.
stop me. You cannot stop me, Anthony.
Well, Game Expo has young children, and you can't do that.
Yeah, but the panels are going to be in a separate room this year, so I'm hoping that I can talk Kevin into putting like people at the door, like NPCs or what they're called at this con, at the door, being like, "Yo, this ain't for children." Because let's be honest, our panel is not for children. It really isn't.
We tried to. Well, we did manage to get it PG.
PG. No, that was PG-13 last year. I don't care what anyone says.
It was well, I thought. Okay, well, last year it was PG-13, but then we were told at the last minute PG.
PG, and even then we barely.
And at that point, we kind of slipped out one swear word and maybe said something suggestive in another sentence somewhere.
I don't know. I'm going to try and get approval from Kevin for a solid R this year. If we get approval for the R, we're doing it. We're so doing it. I don't care if I have to bring my laptop. We're doing it. Oh my god. Yeah. Because it's hilarious. Then we just open up our panel and they're like, alright, whoever was offended by that, you can leave. The rest of you can stay. Yeah. Alright, so last up is Solid Kratos. Got another novel for us, boys. Buckle up. Alright, so this week seems to be our reboots, remakes for Ruby and Sapphire. Do you feel it's about time, or which Pokemon game would you like a remake of, which you like that's already out? My favorites are always going to be Gold and Silver, or Red and Blue. Actually, my absolute favorite Pokemon game has become Twitch Plays Pokemon. But
which, by the way, what's the last update on that?
I think they just are about to start Diamond and Pearl. Hold on. Let me
I
look
remember
that.
playing Pokemon Yellow. Oh man, so much fun back in the day.
Dude, you should start now.
Pokemon Yellow was quite unique. I mean, oh man, that's like one of the little things I always will like about. I mean, one of the little things I like is have your Pokemon follow you around. It just somehow feels so much cuter and adorable that way. Like in the case of Yellow, it was like your Pikachu always followed you because it's kind of like the TV show where Pikachu never goes into a Pokeball. So. TV show thing. But in Soul Silver and Heart Gold, you could have your Pokemon follow you around. So I'll be running through the city, and Nidoking would be like following behind me, and it's like, yeah! And then, of course, you would have a Snorlax following behind you also, which was like kind of funny. And then you could have Lugia could follow you behind you also. So it was kind of like you were strolling through the park with your Lugia.
Anthony, to answer your question, they are on Pokemon Platinum, and their team is Lapras, Ninetales, Dugtrio. Oh wait, no, sorry, screwed that up. Was reading something different. Sorry, it's Flareon, Golbat, Togepi, that Rosio, Bronzor, and Shinx. And they have finished Fire Red, Emerald, Crystal, and Red. So, and right now there are 1,567 people playing it.
Man, that died off fast.
Well, I mean, I knew that people were going to stop giving a shit the further it went along.
I just knew that after the first time, it will die out. Because that's how the internet works. We find like this cool new idea, and then we ride the massive wave, and then crash really hard.
To be fair, the second gen was pretty good too. It's just like first gen.
It's just the first gen was the magic. First gen was the idea that the internet just blew up on and never seen before, and yeah.
Yeah. Also,
I imagine with 1,500 people, it's a lot easier to coordinate.
Yeah. Also, they've actually split the stream up too, where on the left-hand side they have Pokemon Stadium matches, and you can bet on the matches. So,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a question. When we get to like Game of the Year stuff this year, Can we like? Are we gonna be taught like? Is that a game we talk about? Do we like put it in the best remake category? If so, does it
Twitch
win?
plays Pokemon?
Yeah.
That's not a game that you can go out and purchase.
You can download the saves off the internet though. And you can go play it.
That is not a game that you can purchase. It's
Okay.
also technically Pokemon Blue that 1 million people were trying to play.
And finished. How great
It's
is that?
Pokemon Blue.
Pokemon Red. Pokemon Red. They finished.
Okay, fine. It's Pokemon Red.
Alright. But yeah, they remade it so it can be played on the internet through Twitch.
It's still Pokemon Red with a different controller.
Hey, we count other like I'm not talking about for game of the year. I'm talking about for best remake.
That's not really a remake, in my opinion. Seriously, though.
Okay, well, / re-release / collection, but either way, I don't know. I loved Twitch Plays Pokemon. It was a magical 2 months of my life. And I praise Helix. That's all I gotta say to that.
Sure.
Next question coming up is continue with the remake stories. Bronze, have you heard about the remake for the Persona 4 anime? They are making Persona 4 the Golden anime for Marie in it. So Bronze, you have to watch previous anime while you watch this new anime. I really enjoyed the Persona 4 anime. I thought that was a good if you were a fan of that game or just or wanted a good idea of what that game's story was without playing it, though not near as good as playing it, I thought it was pretty solid. And they just plan to add that with a couple more episodes to flesh out Marie and some other stuff. That's cool. If they plan to just rewrite everything, that's kind of weird. I'm mildly interested. I don't know, Anthony. You're making. How far are you in Persona 4? So I know, so I can talk about certain things.
I'm still at the way beginning. It's like, hello, you can now join a culture club.
Oh, what
and
culture
get
club
a job.
What culture clubs did you join?
I haven't yet. I only got to the part where you can ask the faculty and make a decision.
Okay.
Basically, I just got Yukiko out of her pretty whacked up dungeon, and
okay.
Sunday had passed, and now it's Monday, and it's like, okay, time to have a job, which I can't find my work desks, which, yeah, the game doesn't really quite have the best pointers, because it's like, okay, so where do I go to do work and make money?
Okay, so...
And, yeah. As for sports, I picked soccer, because playing soccer is more fun than watching it.
Okay.
Look, I say playing it. In this case,
I know.
My dude is playing soccer, and he's learning how to be better at playing soccer. He's not watching soccer.
I would still rather play basketball than play soccer. So
that's fine. Basketball's fun too. I thought about it, but it's like, you know what? In real life, I was kind of a soccer guy, even though I was the only guy who cared.
Okay,
because it was PE.
So, what are you going to choose for culture, band or theater?
I'm a band guy.
Okay, well, I was theater guy, so...
Yeah. I'm a band guy, and you could... Let's be honest here, you can already tell because I freaking love video game soundtracks and what the video game soundtracks do. They usually play through an orchestra, and I love band.
Alright, well, I'm kind of curious to your experience now, because you went the exact opposite I did. I did basketball and theater. And Theater Girl has daddy issues. So tell me what... So you're going to have to update me on Band Girl. I hear she is clingy. So...
Okay, yeah, I'll update you.
Yeah. Keep me updated on her social link, because
Man, it's like, that game kind of runs like real life sometimes. It's like, do you want to hang out with friends? Do you want to study? Do you want to go out and do sports? Do you want to do your job? Do you want to get paid? And it's just kind of like, oh my goodness, there isn't enough time in this game to get all this done. It's going to rain soon.
Yeah, man. Now do you see why New Game Plus exists? And also why that game, it's like hella hard to platinum?
Yeah, it's like... Oh, wow, it's like life.
So, Anthony, are you going to watch the Persona 4 anime?
It depends on how I can watch it.
Well, I mean, I could link you to a site to watch it all tonight, if you want.
I don't know, I'll think about it.
I know
So
that
far, I like Persona 4. I am not happy with the fact that I had to burn up 5 of my reviving potions, which worries me because frickin' it's only like the first 2% of the game, and I already burned up 5 of my,
all
cheat
right.
potions. So
Eh,
it's like, okay, I have a very bad feeling I'm gonna get permanently stuck at some point.
There's no way you get permanently stuck in that game. If you're like, here's my pro tip: grind and pay attention to your buffs and debuffs, and also your wall spells. Like on that first boss, did you do that thing I told you with Chie and Red Wall?
Nope.
Yeah, that would have made that fight way easier. Because then Chie isn't affected by ice spells or fire spells. Sorry, ugh, she is ice. Um, if she's not affected by fire spells, that means she can keep attacking and healing, etc. Um, by the way, Anthony, you are about to go to one of my favorite dungeons soon. I'm gonna say the name for you, the Bad Bad Bathhouse.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
By the way, I just edited your Bronson rants, which, by the
Yeah.
way, it's uploaded on the server. It's uploaded for you to check before
Yeah.
I post it.
Yeah.
Man, there were some pretty funny quotes that I remember. Can you see my mystical blue eyeliner? Nope. And Aaron makes a joke about sorry, it's in the SD resolution. I can't see it. Upgrade to HD, please.
They do. It's on the Vita. It's great.
That was back in 2012. That was one of the first games that we did for 60-minute access.
Yeah, because Golden was coming out, and they didn't have it, and there's still no way to capture media footage unless you get special shit from Sony or order a special modded one off the internet. And we're too poor to do either of those things. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'll totally check it out, especially when they have an English dub. Final remake story. Have you heard about the Saban brand and Lionsgate has announced they will work on a remake of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? So you think you guys were addicted to Power Rangers as kids and watched the series? What was your favorite? Mine was Dino Thunder because they brought back dinosaurs. Plus Tommy came back. So I know they're bringing back the Power Ranger movie. Anyone else a fan of Power Rangers as a kid here?
I was as a kid, yeah.
I watched it a lot at one point.
So Nick, as a grown-ass man, will you come with me to the Power Rangers movie?
I don't know. I don't think I can watch Power Rangers again.
Oh, come on, man. That awesome theme song. That song still holds up actually pretty well. Some of the man, I would totally go see a Power Rangers movie. No shame. No shame at all.
It's not even about the shame. I just don't think I'd be interested in it anymore.
Oh, dude. I'm not sure how much I'll enjoy it because I tried rewatching. Like they had it on Netflix and they still might. Like I tried watching Power Rangers recently and like outside of like some really nostalgic stuff, it was hard to watch. But who knows? I don't know. I'd check it out. As for my favorite series, Mighty Morphin, definitely, no question. Though Space was actually really good, and it got really dark. Like Space was almost kind of for like older people. I don't know, Nick. What about you? I'm guessing the original series.
I honestly can't. I was so young. I can't even remember.
All right. What about you, Anthony?
The only one I can remember at all was this one episode when they brought all the Red Rangers together.
Oh, dude, yeah, that was hella.
I
That's
remember.
hella.
I remember that one. That was
was like
only
its-
one episode. I don't even remember when that episode aired.
That was like its
originally.
15th anniversary. That was like 10 years ago. Oh my
And
God.
then I think one of my favorite. I think my favorite one was also Dinosaurs. I know it was like a dinosaur one, and I remember Dinosaur because I always keep thinking about the Black Ranger with the dude with glasses. Like that was like the only memory I have, and I was so tiny, and by the time I reached like middle school age, I stopped watching Power Rangers completely because for some reason it just suddenly felt weird to me. I guess it's just one of those weird adolescent things when you suddenly realize, oh, Pokemon and Power Rangers don't want to talk about that or else I'll get picked on.
I actually have a quick little thing that I want to ask you guys. So, do you think they're going to make the Black and Yellow Rangers Asian and black again? Think that's going to happen again? No, that actually happened in the original series. The original Yellow Ranger was Asian, and the original Black Ranger was black.
I really don't know. I'm no Power Rangers expert. Okay, that was just something when I watched when I was really little, and I also remember, every episode involved like their giant mech machine of some kind. I think. And,
yeah, that's the Megazord. Those things were rad.
That's what it's called.
I had a couple.
Freaking hadn't heard that name in forever. The Megazord.
I had a couple toy ones. They were cool. They were
and
fun to play with.
I wasn't really aware of how cheap the set was when they do that, because obviously they can't build a life-sized one. That would be ridiculous. And well, let's be honest here, that would be kind of stupid and dangerous.
Also, you got to remember that footage that they're using is from the 70s and 80s. Because, like, they took old Sentai footage, which is, like, superheroes in those kind of suits, and, like, brought it to the States. And then they, like, made stories around it.
Wow. Okay, that explains the giant mech machines thing and how those sets look really cheap. But anyways, that's my main memories of Power Rangers. I don't remember any particular plot other than the Green Ranger going crazy for a little while. That plot line I actually remember. I don't know what series it came from, but that was a pretty scary plot line for very, very little 6 or 7-year-old me. Yeah.
So, one thing that I want, like, Anthony, you know how I thought about that movie series where we basically do riff tracks?
Yeah.
I'm really starting to think we should do that. The first one we should do is the Power Rangers movie. Like, the old one. I think that'd be really funny.
You know, the other oh man, I don't have many memories of Power Rangers. The other one I remember is I had a Power Rangers cake for one of my birthdays.
I was a Power Ranger for Halloween one year.
That was a freaking awesome cake. I think I might have a picture of it somewhere.
I was the Red Ranger for Halloween one year. Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, freaking Power Ranger cake. That was pretty freaking awesome.
All right. Well.
I probably should sit down and watch Power Rangers one day. For some reason, it feels like a guilty pleasure because it's like one of those things that you're just like, oh, this is so cheesy, and watching this as an adult is going to make me so dumb, and I'm probably going to be laughed at if I tell any normal person I watched Power Rangers, but at the same time, it's been a long time, and, you know, probably for nostalgia's sake, because it's like, you know, when they put Dexter's Laboratory on Netflix, that was a big deal for me, because I remember, because human memory is amazing. It's unbelievable. Like, you don't remember things if you try and think. Like, for example, it's like, what was that scene? I know I watched Dexter's Laboratory, but I can't remember. But then when you watch the scene, you suddenly remember every single detail of how you watched it when you were little. For example, there's episode when Dexter orders this giant burrito and eats the entire burrito. And his stomach was like going to kill him or something like that. And the computer was like, computer, like, when am I going to die kind of things. And he had to, and when he came to confess to his parents that he had a giant lab behind his bookshelf this whole time, he had this giant fart, the galaxy fart, I would just call it that just erupted through the galaxy. And I remember just dying of laughter as a child. And I was dying of laughter, you know, at like, you know, my current age. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I remember that scene. Memories.
I know the exact thing you're talking about because I like been that way with several movies, several TV shows. Anyway, I think we got one last question from Solid Kratos. Final statement on remakes. Did you guys see The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and what did you think?
Oh, I have a big news story to talk about when we're done here.
Oh, God damn
it. This is like just now coming in. Holy crap.
Alright, what is it? None of us have seen the movie, so go ahead.
Oh, no, this is like nothing to do with the movie or anything. So, Nintendo... so it looks like Nintendo's coming out with a new game console 2015-2016. This is what I'm reading here. So Nintendo has decided rather than pare down the existing Wii U hardware for emerging markets, the outfit is developing entirely new consoles, according to Bloomberg. Quote, "We want to make new things with new thinking rather than a cheaper version of what we currently have," end quote. Company president Satoru Iwata said, quote, "The product and price balance must be made from scratch," end quote. And it's saying CEO says introduce games consoles and software for emerging markets as early as 2015, 2016.
Fuck you, Nintendo. Fuck you.
I just spent $300.
This literally just came in.
I just spent $300 on a Wii U last year. Year. And the system was like about to approach its first birthday. I just bought a Wii U for $300. I mean, that's not even counting the shipping that I paid for it.
Wait. Like, so 2015, 2016. Like, okay, that's irritating. But, like, maybe this is that quality of life thing they were talking about. Like, no way Nintendo's this dumb. Like, no way. I'm sorry, there's no way they're this stupid, right?
This is the same company. This is the same company that thought the mini disc, the cartridge, and yeah.
Yeah, but like, fuck me, right?
And have programmers that never tried their competitor services.
But like, I'm sitting there thinking like how many people, like the 6 million people who bought a Wii U, are be super pissed off unless you have just the world's most bitchin' trade-in program. You know, like just no way. Like this could not be a thing.
This is coming from a Satoru Iwata.
What? I want a link to this. Link me.
I will.
Post the link in the chat. I want to read this.
You can't get more official than this. I will link you to it right now.
This sounds fucking insane.
This is breaking news, man.
That's fucking crazy.
Here's the link.
Oh my god, this sounds nuts.
Yep,
oh,
it's official. Go ahead and prepare your protest.
Okay, yeah, alright, so I get what he's... Okay, so, Anthony, I get what this is. I understand now. Okay, so, Anthony, you don't have to worry. They're still gonna make big boy games for Wii U. This is for, like, places like Brazil, where shit's super expensive. They want to make it in between the Wii and the Wii U. Hello?
Oh, I'm here.
You read the story?
But you know what people are going to do for web hits, right? They're going to spin the story saying Nintendo's making a new game console for 2015. Not aware that little detail is emerging markets, which is not North America. It's other places, like, say, Eastern Europe, or South America, or some parts of Asia. But people are going to say, Nintendo's making a new game console for 2015, and because a lot of people read only the title and don't check the details, yeah, we get to laugh at them.
God.
Yeah, for
actually, to be honest, I'm pretty sure people are laughing at me because I was blowing up about it too.
Well, yeah, that's the key word, emerging markets.
Yeah, which, look, emerging markets is place like China, and like emerging markets is places like Brazil, who, like, game consoles are fucking ridiculously expensive, so, like, cheaper hardware, better, and they don't want to scale down the Wii U for them, because right now Wii U in Brazil is like $700. You know, a PS4 is like $1,000. So,
yeah, I'm pretty sure some people are probably laughing at me now for blowing up like that.
No, dude, I totally get it.
Yeah, the first time I read it wrong too. It's like once you read that emerging markets part, you're like,
because like emerging is like kind of like, say, up and coming economies is one way of putting it. So China is a good one.
Yeah, I like
Brazil is a good one. Eastern Europe, and also is also, I guess you could call those emerging markets. Also, I'm not an expert on economies, so, but you know, South Africa, that's another one.
Yeah, no, Anthony, my head was about to explode too. Don't worry.
I'm just like, I just bought a Wii U for $300 last year, and you're telling me you're gonna come out with a new console, and I have to buy that new system to play your latest Zelda game now?
Like, I thought about it. I was like, okay, well, my rule is if I can get 12 games for a system over its lifetime that I really, really enjoy, it's worth owning. So how close is the Wii U? We got Mario 3D World, Wind Waker HD, Donkey Kong Country, uh, Wonderful 101, and let's see, uh, and let's say Bayonetta and Smash pan out. And okay, so I'm halfway there. And oh, Rayman Legends, the best version of that game. So that's 7. So 7 in the first year and a quarter. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. You know, and I personally am just not a fan of Monster Hunter. And I rented Pikmin. I thought it was really good. Just it's not a game that I'm gonna buy. So all right, guys, I think that's it.
Freaking nearly had a heart attack there.
Yeah, don't feel bad. Wii U's here to stay. Wii U's gonna have a massive comeback. Vampire Strike on Xbox and Sony. Anthony just fantasized. That's what the sign was.
It's just really. It's kind of like, yeah, the Wii U's gonna come back against the greatest console launch in the history of games.
Vampire Strike, man, that's Smash Brothers. It's gonna carry them.
It's gonna be really interesting that once this current generation is over,
Yeah.
it's gonna be very interesting what we're gonna think about it, because in some ways, the Wii U might be my favorite system, because I guess you could say it has the Dreamcast quality. That's one way of looking at it, right? Because the Dreamcast,
It's way
failed.
ahead of its time.
Like, I wouldn't. Well, by mean Dreamcast quality, it's more like it failed as a system. It never sold well, and it forced Sega out of the hardware market. But everyone loves it anyways. Kind of like the GameCube. Like GameCube's kind of like the same story. It got beat by the original Xbox. How? I mean, that's kind of a bit sad when you look at it. You just got beat by the new system that was just thrown together with a bunch of PC parts. And was carried by only like 2 or 3 games. And it beat the GameCube worldwide.
I really need to find a way to get you that book. It's not very long. It's like, if you were to turn that into an article on our site, it would be like 13 pages. But like, it's fucking a great book. Alright, so I guess we're done for the night, gents?
Yes, we are.
Alright, yeah, we're on iTunes, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter and Facebook, and I don't know, we'll make a Tumblr eventually. So, yeah, bye.
Peace. Thank you guys for listening. We are out.
I
Love you.